Welcome to Pop Sickos with your hosts, Eric and Ryan.
Okay, welcome everybody to Pop Sickos. This is episode 5 with us, and today we have a special guest joining us today. It's my good friend Rick Prince, a longtime friend. Before we get into a long interview with him, hopefully, I don't know how long, but we're going to be going over a few things. So if you haven't checked us out before, you can find us on Spotify and our social media platform. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and we're at Pop Sickos Podcast on those platforms. So, but today we're going to be talking to Rick Prince, and I'm going to read his bio here, whether he likes it or not. Rick Prince is a world-class special effects makeup artist who has designed and created characters for clients around the world. Rick rose to international prominence on Sci-Fi Network's competition series Face Off. That series is the winner of Critics' Choice Television Award for Best Reality Series Competition. A rising talent in the world of filmmaking, Rick created his first feature film as writer, producer, and director, titled
Lawa.
Thank you
See, I thought
for
right.
helping me out.
This is
Lawa.
a constant source of debate, and maybe retitled eventually, but that is the word.
All Saints Eve. His efforts on that micro budget independent film earned him a multi-movie deal, which also includes Rick as executive producer and animatronic puppeteer in the award-winning Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich. Rick then chose to pay it forward and write and produce Beasts of the Water, letting his friend have the same once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to direct their own monster movie as he received. Mr. Prince has since written several feature film scripts and is actively developing.
Right now, that is a great place to leave it, because what we're working on is always in flux.
Yeah.
So that is the film track record and kind of where we are now, and we can end up talking about all that stuff. But I wanted to say first and foremost, Ryan, Eric, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here, man.
Thanks for coming.
It's always fun to do these and get to chat about whatever. Just had a free form kind of platform. So
We're
appreciate it.
Glad you could make time to come down and see us.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I am right in the last of the free time I might have for the remainder of the year, which is a great problem to have. So,
Yeah, you've been busy.
fortunately, the whole Alive Till 25 turned out to be very true, and it's really, things are just now kind of coming back online.
Yeah, and I know you just got back from Transworld up in
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Transworld, for those that don't know, Transworld Haunted Attraction Theme Show. It's a international big trade show where everyone in the haunted house industry can come, and they get their wares in the early part in the spring so that they can go and use those things that they buy and or trade or exchange during the time at the trade show to set up their haunts and be ready for the September through November. A lot of it's year round now, so it's just one of the biggest trade shows that we go to, period. Square footage wise, it is just massive.
See anybody famous up there?
Oh, it's a hub for all sorts of people. Everybody in the industry, whether you're in makeup, whether you're in film, somebody's there. Whether they're to help draw attention to the booth that is usually there for commerce. It is inter-industry commerce.
Yeah.
So it's the big 20-foot giant things that are in the blacklight room. The blacklight room itself that contains all these is, multiple 100 feet. Just the room, if it's not a couple of 1,000 feet. It's hard for me to understand the scale because everything's so big there.
Is it also like a hub for like actors, the meet and greet fans?
That's part of what I'm there for.
Right.
I have the great fortune of having some good friends. I met through Santiago Cirillo, who is also a local. I'd love to, introduce him, maybe have him on the podcast with you guys.
He was on Walking Dead, right?
Walking Dead, yeah. I think season 4 with the prison.
Okay.
I've been going back and through. I've watched everything.
That was one of my favorite seasons.
Yeah, we're working on a little something with a spin-off series right now. We can talk about more later, but through Santi, I met our good friend Scott Bainey, and he has a booth every year at Transworld for Scared City. His like haunted house that he has out in Arkansas, and through that, I'm a guest there, basically just signing autographs, bringing people to the table,
That's
helping
what I was
sling
going to
merch.
ask. You were signing. I
Yeah.
didn't know if you were working on pulling in stuff for working here, like in Nashville Nightmare or anything like that. I didn't know if you were still affiliated with them or not. So I
No,
didn't know you-
Nashville Nightmare was a one season, kind of one and done, right as I got back from being on Face Off. So Face Off happened, you go and you film it first, and then you
Yeah.
wait for your season to air. So it was during that time that I was like, because you have to turn everything off.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of things about Face Off and filming in general that a lot of the general public don't know. So when you get the call and you've got to go, some people were fresh out of school, so they're young. They don't. They're out in LA now. They just moved out. They're in their van or they're local. They're trying to get the jobs. They're with friends, so they can just do that anyway. The people that don't come from their local to Burbank or California in general have to stop whatever they're doing and come into from out of state. And then depending on where you are, you have to stop your family and or business and cut off full contact with all of that. You're sequestered entirely. So you can't run your business. You can't talk with your wife or your husband or your family or your kids, whatever. You can't do that unless it's an emergency, and they make provisions for that. But it's to keep all the secrecy, and it's everybody's trying to keep the secrets of the show. And but when you do that, you get this popularity. And so when you go out to trade shows, people know you from the show and they come over to talk. And then generally that helps to draft sales toward the vendor. So that's, makeup artists are doing makeup at booths to help sell, Skin Illustrator or Pro Air or all the makeup. The mask companies, CFX, Composite or whatever, different mask makers and vendors all have their different booths all around. So you walk and you get your steps in, man. It is so big. And there's also there's another third of the whole place that at the same time is all Christmas. So it's this weird juxtaposition of Christmas and Halloween going on, because they're both seasonal.
That's
so
a match made in heaven.
you catch them early in the year and you can have this giant trade show for both. Generally there's not a lot of crossover, but sometimes people that want to keep their Halloween thing open all year will set it up for Christmas and Valentine's Day.
It's how Silent Night, Deadly Night got made. That's really it.
Totally.
It's like, if you like Krampus, then this is the place for you.
Yeah, no, and if you're thinking commercially, what's the new this year's Christmas movie? And if you're into Christmas, but you're more into horror, you don't like the Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's, like you said, Silent Night, Deadly Night, that kind of stuff comes up, Krampus.
Well, I saw Spirit actually moved into Christmas now. Spirit Halloween.
Oh.
They opened up Spirit Christmas.
Oh, that's going to be another interesting takeover when...
Where's that?
The empty
In the
businesses.
Northeast.
In the Northeast?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So whenever there's a Big Lots that closes, watch out. Watch this space.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a Spirit move in there.
Yeah, watch for the Walgreens coming up that'll be empty.
That's pretty much what the Stone Rivers Mall is for. It's like waiting for Spirit Halloween to come back around, because like no one else really goes there for anything else besides the bowling alley
Right.
and maybe like a sunglass
A sunglass
bodega.
hut. Yeah.
General commerce out in the real world is changing.
They moved the Spencer, so now the Spencer's that was in that mall is now in the Avenue.
Spencer's is so nasty now. I don't even go into one.
That's pretty much
disgusting.
It's a different environment in Spencer's now than it used to be.
it's like a Love Bound in there now.
They used to have fun stuff, and now it has fun stuff in it now. So it's it's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, not kind of sure what kind of podcast you guys are running here, so we'll keep it light.
Yeah.
We'll stay in the front half of the store.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. You've gone and done some pretty impressive film stuff in the last few years. So tell us a little bit about what you've worked on in the past and what you got coming up, maybe.
Yeah, some of the stuff is outside of the list that you mentioned. That list is mainly the main credits where I've been a writer, producer, or director.
Right.
In the main top tier, helping to run the show. On Puppet Master, I was an executive producer, and then I helped assist Tate as the effects team lead, and I just went down and worked under Tate with all of the other people just to help out. And that's how I got to be an animatronic puppet master, because I knew animatronics. There was an issue with some of the automated stuff that they had planned. As happens on set, for director wants it to do something different, and if you don't have that programmed, you've got to be able to live operate. So
Sort of jump in. And
yeah, I knew
fix the
telemetry
problem.
devices and animatronics, so I was able to pull out the guts and put in a new brain to listen to me instead of the other computer programming, and so we could live
cool.
puppeteer. So that was fun to be able to work on something. You may remember from high school, because Eric and I went to the same high school,
Right.
At least at times. And we've had both in and out of California and other states through Nashville, like history.
Yeah.
Different military
it's kinda-
services in different areas, but
Yeah,
similar.
It's not often you have friends that start out in California, because that's where y'all went to school in California.
No,
together.
here.
Oh,
Here, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But we
I
both
thought-
lived in California in different
Yeah.
places, like, so we kind of back and forth trace over each other's steps in different times. I saw him out at Frank's shop, Frank Ippolito, because he
Yeah.
was out there. It was like, well, come by, man, because we were both out in LA at the same time. So
Yeah, so we wound up going to the cast party for Face Off. We went over, yeah,
I forget, that was like season
5.
I don't
No,
think it was. Was it season?
six?
It was season.
6, I think.
It may have even been. I'm not even sure, because it was after ours. Because there were
Oh,
other,
that's right. It was
there were
season
other
6.
people that I had not yet met on that,
Yeah,
during that party. The Garcia brothers.
Yeah, Eric and Derek.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they weren't on our season.
Yeah, it's funny. I got to wind up being like Facebook friends and talking to them, or talking to them during that, and then just from hanging out with those guys, talking to them online so much.
Yeah, most
afterwards.
everybody is a wonderful person, a good human being, and a very talented artist. That's the best thing about Face Off, was putting all these talented people together. Because almost immediately we started working on films together.
Yeah.
So when I say I went down and worked with Tate on Puppet Master, it was Tate, Eric Zapata, Heather Henry, Race Bird, Wayne Anderson.
Yeah.
Like, it was a laundry list. Ian Cromer. Like, there were so many different people just from Face Off, because we all recognized each other's talent in the room while we're working. We can see, like, damn, that dude's good at doing that, or she's
kinda
really
learn
fast, or
The competition was
tricks.
just so much great networking for them.
it really.
yeah.
I mean, that's the win. If you were on the show, and a lot of our opinions, you won just by being on the show. It's like being on any other reality thing that does well or is viewed a lot, and internationally too. But ours was unique in that it was a different kind of educational one, that as a kid I would have loved to have had a Face Off. It would have propelled me forward like it's done so many other kids, because it shows you the thing. Like, we used to have to write letters, handwritten letters to Dick Smith or Rob Bottin, if you could find an address or something from a Fangoria magazine, or
I wrote a letter to Tom Savini.
yeah, Tom Savini, Greg Nicotero, even. Like, I even got a scholarship from to go to the Savini school from Greg, and that was the same time I've been working as a professional, but I wanted different skill set. I was like, can I teach the mold making class and take the other class? Because it was still a lot to go to the school. And right about that time, Face Off called. So I was like, I don't think I can go ahead and pay that scholarship on to someone else. I'm not going to be able, because I had a daughter too. And she was young enough that I couldn't take that time away.
Yeah.
That was important time. I couldn't, and these are the things that you have to deal with as you make decisions in the movie business and in your any career really. But so after all that, we've been doing the 3 films, finished those off, and then in the past 10 years, because it's been a decade since Face Off, my season aired, and maybe since Face Off.
Is it still airing?
No,
Well,
it
not
had
airing, but
13, 13 seasons, I believe, and then it's on pause right now, because like Hollywood, it didn't die on screen, so it's still alive.
It's
Yeah.
syndication. Yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood loves a remake, and the fans. That's the best thing about the show, is that you could watch it with the family. So, and they kept the drama. There were some that tried to rear its ugly head, and they put the kibosh on that, which I'm grateful for.
That's good.
And so the family could watch it. They could learn. Their kids and themselves as adults could see oh, that's how they do that. That's that movie magic. That because they used to have shows every now and then that my mom even would record on VHS tapes for me, movie magic, and it would be Stan Winston, some Laserdisc special that they cut down to a television show. But she would record that for me because you'd have to catch it when it came on the television at that point. But that was the change in access, and because of that, we go around the planet, and we're invited to things like Comic-Cons or whatever, and people come up and like, oh, I saw you, and now it's, oh, I remember when I was a kid, we watched you on the show, and I'm like,
You're like, oh no.
yeah, it's a very rewarding thing, and to quote Star Trek, which is outside of my normal realm, time is a predator that stalks us all. So you just gotta be okay with that. I love what I do, so I never work a day in my life, and that keeps me feeling like a little kid. So when someone mentions the passage of time, I'm like, oh yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to that.
It's like, is time linear?
Is it?
It's like,
yeah, I live in that multiversal headspace anyway.
I was always, I'm not going to mention the place you worked at before, but there was one place years ago where you were doing it. You were working, doing the work, and
I think that place is out of business now.
It's gone.
Well, it's sold. It got renamed. It was just a puppet shop here in Nashville that did some cool stuff. Had some contracts with Disney.
Yeah, I tried to get in with them while you were working there. It didn't work. But yeah, and I was like so freaking jealous of you working at that place.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of nights sleeping on bubble wrap, huffing fumes, and we did a really good job of even early on, like safety first, man. We've got different medical backgrounds as well, different service oriented stuff and PPE, protective equipment. Kids out there, if you're listening, safety first.
Yeah, don't
put on your glasses.
Yeah, don't.
I've got a lot of cracked glasses that would have been missing eyes if I weren't wearing stuff. Just so there was a lot of things that I did learn, and I'm grateful for my mentor there for a decade, Dave Nixon. Working with him in the sculpting studio, just learned so much and good work ethic. If you make it right the first time, you don't have to make it a second time. Just a lot of mold making specifically. That's why I could teach the mold making class at Savini School already, because we had done Lion King and Little Mermaid and all this stuff at Disney Spec, which is super high.
Yeah.
And it has to be. It's a theme park, and they've got to last theme park
time.
endurance. Like if you think haunted houses have a high thing, let 100,000 people through the door by 10 a.m.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Going down, it's like you can see, oh, well, here it is. And like if it lasts for 2 shows, then terrific. But if it lasts for 65 shows before noon, or before the end of the day.
Yeah, and a lot of that from our world is going to be puppets. And a lot of those are coming from under compartment hatches. So if you ever get a chance to see or experience in any sort of way, it was an enviable thing. I understand that because I always wanted it.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I wish I had known, wish I could have had some sort of influence. But you've done some really creative stuff yourself the whole time anyway. So there are things that you've done that I've also been like, look at what he's, So.
You did. You pointed me in the right direction. It's just it wasn't working out because I was trying to do sketch work and trying to get concept artwork for him, but I didn't have what they were looking for.
And this is in Nashville, Tennessee. So there was like one place, and there were at that time, this is pre 9/11, because that happened while we were all working there, and there were like 9 of us total, all huddled around the TV trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
So this, we had gone through then the 2008 bankruptcy. I was already out on my own as an independent business by then, because even for me, sometimes there's not enough. When that happened, all contracts stopped. So it was very much like the strikes and COVID back then for big theme parks and everything with that kind of public safety concern. All our contracts stopped right then. So I empathize now more than I did back then. So the place was Animax Designs. I don't mind
I didn't.
You know,
yeah.
for a while it was a sore point. The more you come to understand as a business owner, the more you at least kind of understand some of the angle of the decisions, even if you don't agree with them at all.
Yeah.
You can understand the justification, and you know, sometimes, like on the show, every week somebody gets eliminated.
Yeah.
And that's because there is a process that you have to go through to determine a victor. So you can't have feelings about, oh, who got cut first. Some people are like, there's axe falls every week, man.
Was there any judge on the show that you felt was like unfair? Was like
Very biased.
Very, yeah.
I think to me personally, no, not at all. I think the edit spells out sometimes a different story. When you watch a movie, if you've ever read the book first and then you watch a movie and you're like, there are differences here, whether you like or don't like, there's an interpretation, and that's because you had to cut down to a half-hour show.
Right.
And that's a week worth of contest of clock runs in real time, but it stops and then we go and we have lunch and then we come back and then it starts again. Then we go home and we sleep and we come back and it starts again. You know, so there's days of production involved in that one on-screen day. So it's a real contest, and I felt in my experience that all the judges were completely fair. There was a lot more they had to contribute that didn't hit the edit.
Right.
And some of them come across different because of what they pay attention to. And they started, social media became a thing. Right about my season, Instagram was coming online. I remember me, Frank Ippolito, and Steve Johnson were in a bar out in Burbank, and Steve was showing, or Frank was showing Steve how to do his hashtags and do his Instagram or whatever. I was like, and so that's how I got on with improving my social media presence, at least, was, you know, being in the presence of cool people that were working on trying to, you know, move themselves forward on a new platform, a new thing at that time. We didn't know how destructive that wrecking ball was going to be.
Yeah.
Social media, yikes. But it is what you make of it. And I keep my algorithms trained to movies and monsters, man. I don't worry about anything else.
Try to stay away from nonsense.
That's probably safe.
Keep my
There's a lot of-
politics to empires and rebels and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man, I stay off politics. I don't want to hear.
Yeah, you weave it into
screaming
your narrative in a way that's unobtrusive.
Yeah.
If you got to put it in your art, and a lot of art is that. So I don't object to people having their say, but does it fit? Is it supposed to go into this particular story? Just be mindful of that and do your
Yeah.
thing. You know, I'm in support of all art. I like it. It's kept me alive, kept my family fed, and I'm grateful to everybody that comes up anywhere we're traveling across the world now. That says, "Oh, I saw you on that show, man. Come up, say hi." I enjoy hearing about how you grew up watching us back when you were a kid, or some of the new things that we're working on now, from werewolves to a galaxy far, far away, or an adventure 65 million years in the making. There's some new things brewing for this year that are just really have me like really feeling like a little kid still. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm a big fan. Like there's a lot that we can talk about, and I'll let us know where the guidelines are. But you know, I've been acting recently, so that was something this year has put me in a bunch of different places where you see me. The trailer just dropped for Going Postal.
Okay, I hadn't seen
I
that
haven't
yet.
seen
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on social media. They've dropped a trailer, a teaser trailer at least, for Going Postal, which is a local couple of brothers have made this short film, or it's a feature film, and Santiago's in it. I'm in it. There's a bunch of local people, and they've got this whole film family that they make these different films with. And I show up as Letty, which is like a gangster kind of one of the thugs. Just,
Can we pull it up?
I'm sure, yeah. Going Postal. I'm sure it'll pull up if you.
Hold on
maybe
a second. Let me
YouTube
see if I
or-
can pull it up real quick.
That's like every federal worker every day. Someone's going postal.
Yeah, my dad was a
Everybody-
postal. He was a Marine first, and then he retired from the post office. And so he worked at the Metro Nashville. Well, if you're familiar, the building that's now the Frist used to be a post office.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the downtown Maine post office. That he used to work the graveyard shift, so I used to go down there in the middle of the night. Giant industrial.
When was it a post office?
Until it became the Frist.
Until,
Yeah, its whole time
I've
that
only
I ever
known it
knew
as, maybe I didn't know it as a kid. But
I'm long tooth, son. I'm not sure how old you are.
34.
Oh, right on.
So
Yeah.
I'm on that. It's like I know just enough of like kind of the old Nashville, not like the wagons and horses pulling through Broadway, but
Yeah, I'm
but
not quite that
it's-
old, but
no.
there's still wagons and horses down there.
There
along
still are.
with
Yeah, there
boats
still is
and
technically. Yeah.
boats on monster truck tires, and pedestrians on scooters getting run over. Unfortunately,
Well enough. It's
downtown's
not.
crazy. I don't like it.
I think most natives avoid it at this point, unless
It's like any tourist destination
Yeah.
for the locals. I'm sure everybody comes in.
it's
and-
for the woohoo girls. That's what we call them.
Yeah, there's the lot, but there is a lot of live music. I give Nashville some of its props. It
definitely has
hasn't
energy.
exactly been kind. All of the monster movies I made here are ones that I was able to get the funding for and made ourselves, except for one. I think back with Jim Varney, Blood, Friends, and Money. There he is. Look at that guy. I made the trailer.
look at there.
Look
Oh,
at his
nice.
mug. Oh, there, put in the boot.
You're the thumbnail.
I'm the thumbnail. Old Letty. I appreciate that. Bright Morning Star. Yeah, this is the Giancana brothers, Brendan and Bryant. Okay. Give them a big shout out for inviting me onto this film. It was fun. We'll do it live.
Please, no more. Here, boss lady says deliver that.
We got 6 guys working 24 hours a day. All same gig postal workers. You know why we chose postal workers? Because nobody sees you. Think about it. Do you ever remember the person who delivers your mail?
I didn't say anything, did I?
You didn't have to. It's the first questions we always get asked. I'm a witch. We have a coven. Our roots are from Salem. Come on. Let's see what the future has in store for you.
What is this fucking shit?
Dad, is why your delivery's late.
I told you to keep an eye on all the players.
I cannot keep working with this asshole.
You know where he is, right?
Yeah, he's probably in the bathroom taking a shit.
I'll fix it. Heard you killed someone. Postman?
You know you have a hot-ass wife. I don't think you want anything to happen to her. You know, she drives to some pretty rough neighborhoods on the way to work.
Here, little insurance. Keep that with you at all times. You see God calling?
It's me.
What is this?
Oh, this? This is you.
Am I dead?
Now that is a bit more complicated.
Who are you? What is he?
We are Legion, for we are many. What was never told was Legion was the outer god of madness. For spreading madness is more important and enjoyable than death and destruction. An old one sleeps, even now under the restless sea. With enough madness, we waken.
Stop! Please stop!
This can't.
No.
What do you desire?
I want revenge for what they did to her.
And also, drop the link to the trailer.
Yeah, we will drop a link to the trailer on there, and
Yeah, there's still potentially one more scene that I have to film as Letty, so I'm really hoping that I get to film that because
Letty.
that was why I signed on. Cool. Letty. I was like, the only Letty I know is Letty, and that's my friend Brian's mom.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Febles. You saw where I snuck a Febles into Beast of the Water. Did you get a chance to check out Beast of the
Yes.
Water? Yeah.
Yes.
Being the writer, you get to. I wrote a Bateman in there. I wrote a Febles. Sinzak I'm holding for my space. You know,
For your space film?
yeah. Sinzak's a great name for
there we
aliens,
go.
especially if you got any sort of like when you saw it on your name when we were playing paintball or any of that kind of stuff. It was like, that's a good name.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get in, have my name in there somewhere in one of the films. So
Yeah. So Going Postal was one that we worked on here locally recently. Sheila Ann Smith, we got to all work together with Santiago. I think he's one of the main baddies. Michael. There's just a whole bunch of people that were a lot of fun. We got to go out for a couple of nights and film. That was on the cusp right before we lost the temperature and some of our sets to Christmas. So there was some train, I think, that my final scene was supposed to happen in front of, and they Christmas decorations are up. Okay.
So it killed the whole.
Yeah, so that's 3 months delay, and then you now because the third month is in the middle of winter. Now you got to wait for the
thaw.
Yeah, you got to wait for the color to come back, and
Yeah.
so it's only just now really that we would be able to do those pickups. So I think Sheila reached out, and I think they're filming something else. It might be another film or a short film, but every time you're like, is that the call? You know, are we going back in? Do I get to wear the special suit? I'm sorry. And then there was what was Long Silver Bullet, but I think it got retitled to Hellcat, where I got to be a werewolf. This is like the third or fourth time we've been able to repurpose or recreate the werewolf suit. A lot of times I'll get a call like, hey, do you have this monster? You know, sometimes people just expect a special effects guy or a company to have that thing. I saw Rick Lazzarini talking about that on Facebook. Just
yank a werewolf suit out of the closet.
Oh, you don't have that for like $1,000?
Sure.
You know, that giant 15-foot tall alien for my movie.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I might have something that I could make into a thing, but it definitely isn't $1,000. You know,
Well, remember
it's just weird expectations sometimes that people have.
I called you about a wedding a long time ago. Remember?
I don't necessarily, not with that.
There
hint.
was two friends I had, or a friend of mine was getting married to somebody else, and he wanted a Fifth Element wedding.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and he wanted, I don't know what his budget was, but he was wanting to do like the Plava Laguna thing. And,
which
and was
is
very
an elaborate makeup, you know.
Yeah.
Anytime you're thinking, I want that from that movie. So you got movie budget?
You got movie money. Yeah.
Because it takes a lot and a lot of hours and usually a lot of people, and the hours go to the people and the money goes to the people for their hours.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes there's a gap in that understanding. I've tried to be a lot more forgiving now with the clients up to a certain point, and then it winds up wasting both of our times.
Well, he wanted me to do it. He wanted me to build it. And I told him, I said, I don't have anywhere near the infrastructure.
And for
to
your
build
wedding,
this
you
stuff.
want it to be good.
Right. And I mean, I told him, I said, what I'd piece together would not look anything like you'd want to look at. I said, it would look like something that came from Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, and I hate to be that way, but sometimes it does. You feel like, you know, Watto, you're like, it's only money.
Right.
Like, that's the thing that you're missing is the budget to be able to accomplish your goal. Like, there are different things you can do on different levels. I can maybe make something work on your budget level, but it won't be to my quality standard level of and that you just have to be able to find that sweet spot, and that's the art of negotiating, you know, and talking with your client. And
I showed somebody one time when I was working on something. I said, good, cheap, and fast. I said, you can check
the almighty wheel.
You can check 2 of the boxes, but not all 3.
Yeah, there are a few
20
memes.
selections.
There are a few good
only
memes
2.
that are out there that are easy to explain it for, but you've got to still be able to get that to the person that you're talking to, that it's the money on the other end potentially. And sometimes even with here it is on the paper in front of you, there's just a lack of understanding or acknowledgement. Sometimes that doesn't matter. And it just needs to fit this. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. And no, thank you has been one of the best pairing of words I've been able to use in the industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To avoid the wrong things for me. Sometimes thought it was the right thing, and I went past a point where I was like, I saw a warning flag pop up, you know, and you're like, and then so experience teaches you that, and that's why I'm not worried about time passing, because it's been very beneficial to me, and getting to the point of understanding at least what wisdom is supposed to be and heading that direction.
I turned down a movie working on a film in L.A. and as art director, and it was a short film. It wasn't a feature or anything.
Just doing like sketches or
no. This was actual like big stuff.
Yeah, art
and
deck.
it was and it was content. It was really what turned me off to it. It involved necrophilia, and I said nope. And because it was and I had no problem set dressing for like a morgue scene or anything like that. It didn't bother me, but there was something about it. Was the whole thing was the more I learned about it, and the more just deeply disturbing some of the stuff was that I was looking at. I was like, I don't really want to get involved with some of the stuff you people are doing over here. So
yeah, some people go for disturbing an audience.
Yeah,
that is a specific intent behind some filmmakers.
Intense reactions.
To each their own. But yeah, you get to choose which projects you're a part of, and if you see something, say something. If it's dangerous or risky on set, don't worry about that. It's only a couple of bucks or whatever it is versus someone's life on a train track.
Sure.
If you feel like there's danger, if you don't like the protocol or something, try to find the person that you should be talking to and pull them off to the side. You don't want to have these conversations in public, but if you feel uncomfortable with something, find the person to talk to, and if you need to, then step away. It's okay.
Yeah.
Find the next thing that does match up better. Like there's always projects, there's always another thing. Even during the down spell, we found things to work on. That's where I actually met Brandon and Bryant. Was like, we were like, oh, man, we've been on strike. Yeah. COVID is at least passed, and we're back to non-restricted everything. We can do things if we wanted to do things, but there's no money to do things. And I think 2 years before that, we had done a short film, Star Wars fan film with a friend of mine, Adam. And he was like, hey, I want to do a sequel to that. We were like, oh. So I hit up my buddy Ryan, another Ryan, good guys always, to help us out. And we filmed some parts. And Adam had filmed the first one himself, him and his brother Cameron. And I show up as Darth Maul. In the 501st, I'm Darth Maul in makeup. One of these pictures here in the background. Yeah. That's the Clone Wars version. I've done that's a lot of work with the stilts and everything. So
I've seen that.
That's a super specialty. Yeah, IMATS I think is out in Burbank is the last time that I wore that publicly.
Yeah, that was a lot of work.
Yeah, the digilegs are just heavy because they're steel. But they do the job. They give you that.
Yeah, they're like reverse
canine dog leg. This is if you're into Star Wars. This is in the animated seasons.
Vin Diesel, I think, had to use that. I think for Groot.
Yeah, but normal painter stilts are going to be just way better. These articulate, and you have to use your hamstrings more than like hamstrings and calves. It's a strange setup. What you have to do, you have to press against. Yeah, so your heel doesn't come straight down. Your leg articulates, goes back, and then comes forward at a dog leg angle.
Okay, it's like a werewolf walking.
It's the werewolf leg. Yeah, specifically, it's the same leg that I've worn as the werewolf in multiple things. Sometimes you want that. Sometimes to me, they're always just a little too much leg.
It's a lot of leg.
It's a lot of leg.
A lot of leg.
You guys showing a lot of leg.
Proportionally, you're showing a lot of leg.
Always a bad thing.
Yeah. And some of the wolves have been female that I played in the same suit, depending on how you play it. When you turn into a wolf, you really look feminine when you're a wolf. I don't know that you do your hair. So I played both. It's up to the director to decide how that plays on screen. But yeah, Darth Maul is where I met because Adam had me appear as Maul. He looks like Kylo Ren. He looks a lot like a young, handsome Adam Driver by 10 years his junior. I think Adam's like 25 now.
Oh, okay.
So at 50, Darth Maul is now about to go up versus Kylo Ren again in Journey to the Dark Side Ascension. So during this filming of the Cave Underground year before, I met the brothers who then later on hired me because they saw me as Darth Maul. You're like, oh yeah, you can play a bad guy because you were a bad guy. You know, take the horns off and be Letty and going postal. And so oftentimes in the industry, it's who you worked with or who saw you work, how they appreciated your work ethic, or would they just want to work with you?
Yeah.
So always just be on your best behavior. You never know who's watching or what that may lead to.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So just trying to be professional, and Darth Maul was a heavy character to wear, man. It took a lot. It also happened, we were filming that right after I lost my dad. So it was a transitional time. And after filming that, I thought I was finished. So I had retired Darth Maul. Darth Maul's also like a 2.5 hour makeup. Either one, because the same design is on your face. The horns are different, but it doesn't really change the time it takes to put all the lines and everything on your face. And whether you're doing your whole upper body, a lot of times it's just from the neck up. But even the neck up is about a 2 hour makeup.
Now you did a stencil. I've seen your stencil. You did.
I tried to do the stencil, but Maul's lines are they're tattoos,
right?
So I'm an attention for detail. I'm a Virgo, and that's why I try to make sure my lines are always just dead on. And doing the stencil, I made a carbon fiber shell that goes over my face. That's what we're talking about. It's a stencil. It's a 3D thing that goes over my face with just the lines cut out. So I put that against my face, and then I could spray it.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting there and drawing the lines on. But when you do that, there's always a little ghosting of that makes the line a little blurry. And this is HD, bro. We're right up on your face.
Right.
So
every
you need to do it, and doing it by hand, going cross-eyed in the mirror is how I've done it every time.
I saw this, and it looked like something you could patent. I mean, it's just the way it looked. I mean,
the process is an industry proven process. It will work, and it does work, but only for you'd really have to.
It's personal,
and it's still me doing it myself.
Yeah,
because there's just so far there hadn't been time. This next round, when we're coming up on filming in the end of May, I believe, we're going back. We've got some new scenes that we're adding, so. The horns come out of retirement, and because I had purged, I'd gone to the light side. I'd purged my kyber crystals. I'm naturally redheaded, so seeing and playing Jedi Survivor, Fallen Order, Cal Kestis, I was like, I look like Cal Kestis in high school, man. Where was this dude? Where was all the cool gingers when I was a kid? And I just, I'm a Jedi like my father before me was a phrase that really rung out during that time, and Darth Maul's a heavy role. And hearing the stuff like Heath Ledger had talked about, I could never relate to that until I walked a mile in those shoes. And I was like, wow, man, you got to be in a very specific headspace. Adam and I talked at great length about the script and the story, and we trained for months. We're training again now. So it's a lot of involvement, a lot of time frame spent with those characters, and
so it's a lot of physicality is working in choreography.
Yeah, there's a lot of choreography, but we made sure that there's a lot of fan films that are out there because you can get lightsabers and you can go out and they look cool when you film. But are you good? Did you think about what your movements are? That's a whole category and thing, and why people watch some of these fan films. Ours started with the story. So he's got a very specific story that he wanted to tell, and there are several different characters that his character Kylo Ren interacts with, and he's talked with at great length each of us as the actors who play these different characters. Vader's in there, Ricky's just a big awesome dude. There's like Patrick, Ricky. There's a couple of versions of us out there on this one. Eric, if you were around, there'd be another version. But yeah, so there's these different characters, and being able to talk and develop a story around it. I think a lot of us as viewers feel like that's a big part of what's missing. I don't know about you guys when we're watching stuff. It's it's a lot of eye candy, but not a lot of story.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of fan films, and it's like, well, we're going to talk for a minute, and then we're going to have a big lightsaber fight, and that's going to be the end of it.
Yeah, it's really honed in on the fights, but I need a little backstory on like what's leading up to the
the fight
fights and the
when you killed that
rivalries.
person or whatever, and that awesome ending of that spectacular lightsaber fight. Did I care about it? Did it matter?
Right. What was?
And it only matters if you set it up with some story. And that's so we started with that first, and then we added on how do we add the choreography, where and how would we fight if these two characters actually met.
Yeah.
And so Maul is, this is all, Force Vision type of stuff, because these characters don't interact because of timeline specifically so far in canon in any sort of way. So this is the Force Vision, so you get some liberties there on what you mix and match, whether it's versus like the Clone Wars version of Maul where he's, you could go in episode 1 before he gets caught. It's a vision, so
Yeah.
but it's still the same angle of what would Maul say to Kylo Ren, what would Kylo Ren say to Darth Maul. They have very similar stories as we got to talking about it. So it's fun to be able to go back and that's something we did while we were down. We didn't have anything else to do before I guess this was last year and a half ago, where everything was just dead.
Yeah. Well, just give you time to create. You just give you time to sit.
That's why you don't want to
create.
get rusty. You want to break out all the gear that's sitting. It's a shame because Ryan Featherston, he has all of everything you could ever want to make a movie.
Wow.
When we filmed Beast of the Water, even Lawa, like Beast of the Water, we used the lenses from The Godfather. We had the Game of Thrones glass, like the same lenses that were used on those films. We rented, came to us. We put them on our cameras. I got pictures of the box. We were just so geeked out. Like, these are legacy things. So because you're part of film history, you made a movie. Congratulations, you did it. It's out. Somebody can see it. That is a special kind of joy and like bucket list kind of thing to have gotten everybody to that finish line. Because a lot of
Beast
movies
of the
don't.
Water came out on Amazon. I rented it. I was like, wow, this is it. And we're
Yeah.
sitting, Kim and I were sitting there watching it on Amazon. We're like,
Yeah, a
this
lot of
is
things
it.
don't make it, and ours almost didn't make it. Mainly because one of our main people didn't. One of our angel investors, Foster, is Pam and Foster, this wonderful couple that met me because their daughter liked Face Off, and they were here locally. They did some philanthropic stuff where they were donating and helping kids here locally. That's how I wound up at NECAT Network, where I'm like Bob Ross here in Nashville, where I'm every spring break or fall break, it's me and the kids on a local kind of public access channel where we'll spend a week making a monster and making a little film where they get to learn how to use the cameras. So I met that couple there, and they were like, hey, you want to make a movie? And I was ready like a Hollywood waiter, bro. I had a script in my bag, and they made the dreams come true for so many people. But right at the end, we had just finished the second film, we kind of did Puppet Master. So we did the third film in between finishing up the second film. And then as soon as we finished up the end of all three and we're in post-production doing the edit, Foster had a sudden Widowmaker heart attack and we lost him. And that was almost the end of everything. Puppet Master was going to come out either way because we were just executive producers on it, and it had its own mechanism for release already. It was basically pre-sold. But our two films were on the shelf. Fortunately, they at least just kind of put them out basically as they were. But it was that day everything changed.
Yeah.
Even though you caught lightning in a bottle, life still happens. And so fortunately, right after that, life changed completely. Again, the Titans called, Tennessee Titans, because I was reset completely. What do I do now? I was making movies, and one of our people passed, and now none of us are making movies now. It's different.
Yeah.
But it was right then some wonderful people. You remember Performance Costumes here in Nashville?
Yeah, over there off Broadway.
Yeah, Gary and Glenn, the owners of that place, I've known forever. It was the one place in Nashville, if you've been here in the past 30, 40 years, it moved from Church Street to like Thompson Lane or whatever. But
Church
it was
Street,
even
sorry.
it was even better once it moved to its other location, because it had this unique building, and we almost bought it when they sold it at the end, but that was, thank God we didn't, because that was right at the collapse of everything. Retail, everything. COVID went upside down, and we dodged a bullet because it was a physical public commerce and nobody could go do, and it was
Well, it's like everybody
renting
touching
costumes. Yeah, it's like the one thing you didn't want to do is touch anybody else's stuff, you know, even though it was all clean and disinfected and everything, and before any of those protocols came in, because it's theater, you know, we try to keep it clean around here. But you know, they said, hey, the Titans people came in, they were looking for something for their mascot, and I was like, why are they shopping at like a retail store? They're an NFL team.
Yeah.
You know, so we set up a meeting and we talked and we made something awesome on a friend of mine, Dion Harris, made a mascot for a year or two, and then
there he is.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, there's Dion.
Yeah.
On the far left over
I
there,
saw
the
that.
Titan.
Titan.
Mr. Yummy Titan Man. He got a bunch of awesome names from the public. Deion Sanders was talking about him. And Dion's here, I think, locally now. So
Deion Sanders is.
Yeah, doing like a camp. I saw a clip of him on a show, getting into somebody with the Band-Aids. I was like, I feel you, coach. I like that ethic. There's a lot of things to really appreciate about the work ethic of a professional sport, professional anything. Just generally, there's a higher standard when you're on this elite level.
Yeah.
And getting that kind of back behind the scenes thing through the NFL was a special treat. Working with Dion, who you can see is a physical specimen. He's a IBBF, International Bodybuilder Federation, maybe.
Yeah.
I get the acronym not quite right, but anyway, he's a professional bodybuilder.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, when he came out as the Titan,
Yeah.
everybody was like, why isn't he on the line? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so, but it's an interesting thing. He's a great guy, and I'm still working with him on other things.
Well, I know that the ladies at work really like him. So
he's just an awesome guy.
They remember him from
And he's
being out there. So
it's like being around Arnold. There's some Daniel right above him was our giant, Daniel Gilchrist from Beast of the Water. He's 7'7" tall.
That's
just the human standing
freakishly
there.
tall.
It's impressively tall. I tried, you know, walking with Daniel in public for an hour, getting from the airport, booking the flight on the airport, going through public. It is some of the most pressure. He might as well have been Michael Jackson.
Gosh.
Everybody is eyes on. Everybody, not everybody, but 90%.
The whole airport's like.
And coming up to you and asking you and saying the same things over and over again, or taking pictures on the side, whispering, like it's just a lot of attention because you are so unique. And it breeds, to me, I think, a special kind of human being.
Yeah.
Because all these giant men, we had a huge men, like Snoop Dogg's bodyguard, Tyrus.
Yeah.
He's like 6'8".
I've seen
I
Tyrus on
say that
TV
just
now.
as a point of reference. That's something he did a long time ago. He was also a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
He's an author. He's a talk show.
He's
Like,
on-
Tyrus is doing his
Yeah.
thing, man. It's awesome. And
watch him
he looks
on
like he's a
TV.
great dad. Like I just, you know, you see the social media presence of different people that you've worked with, and he's 6'8", and that's part of why Daniel had to be so 7'7". To if you've got such a big guy as your, you know, one of your heroes or your good guys, the monster needs to make him feel threatened. So you got to
Tyrus's hands
keep
just
tilting the
look
camera.
so big.
Yeah, both of them. I got to play the right hand of that creature during the underground scene. So there's some of these characters I got asked recently when I posted this one, how many of these are me, or that I've, you know, because some of these are me in makeup, but a lot of these are on other people. So I got to be the right hand of the Beast of the Water character, the right hand of Doom. If you're a Hellboy fan.
Hellboy, yeah.
When you said right hand, like I haven't seen the movie yet, and you can watch it on Amazon. Is it on Amazon?
It is on Amazon.
Okay.
It's also, I don't mind. It's free on YouTube. We get all
it's
the
free on
clicks
YouTube?
and
Okay.
you know, pop in there in the comments. Let us know what you think. We shot this basically in Pam and Foster's backyard. We did film some at a cave. The park system here in Tennessee has been great. I will say the film commission, Hisela Moore, some of the different people throughout the park services. have been just great. We also, I have a policy on any of our films. You know, one, you have all the insurance, but better than you found it. You know, so we did a lot of cleanup. Somebody had also come down through there at the cave system and done some graffiti, spray painted, just fucking around. So there's a special way you have to clean that stuff up. So we went down and talked with the park people, used their environmental cleanup, cleaned all the spray paint and everything, and had a special footpath to get, because we're filming subterranean. We're underground in a cave system in Tennessee, and there's not handrails. We did find one where we're filming the Journey to the Dark Side Ascension. Is great. We golf carts and everything, but it's a private cave.
Yeah.
This other one was a public, big, giant Lost Creek cave. It's where they filmed the Jungle Book. There's a waterfall kind of right across from it.
No, you're in Cheatham County, weren't you?
That's where the backyard is in Ashland City, but the cave was in East Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Any of the underground or waterfall cave scenes in Beast of the Water are on location in East Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
And the rest is in Ashland City. So, yeah, if you hop into Beast of the Water, that got retitled. It initially was called Inuati, which was the name of the title character.
Yeah.
And it's kind of probably still should be. That's something that happened because it was all of our creative was left when Foster passed. So it was Suits or whatever doing what they thought was best. And that's their decision. And it's out there, and you can check it out for free on YouTube, Beast of the Water. It's a lot of fun. It's a different movie than I feel like we shot. As the writer, I know all the footage that we have when we got to the editing bay, and then you watch what came out.
It changes.
It always changes. That we were talking about
right
earlier,
before
from the
release.
book to the thing. So the judges, from Face Off, I felt they were awesome. I thought Glenn got a bad rap. I meant to say that earlier. He had a lot of really, really good feedback. He comes across as just haircut and pomp and circumstance in the edit. And Frank Ippolito came across as Cranky Frankie.
Yeah.
Even got his nickname, which is I think they felt that didn't go well in the edit. He also had, I think, lost his father right before he filmed.
Yeah.
And so that's a tough time
yeah,
to get recorded
people
on
don't-
screen. So he came back in season 5, not necessarily as a redemption for him, but for the edit, because I don't think it painted him in a good light.
I think they thought he didn't care. I think that's what it was. That he was brash or didn't.
Frank is he's an awesome human being, but he's got Frank's personality, and some of us, myself included, don't always come across maybe the way that we meant to.
Right. But I think Frank was tremendously.
He's awesome.
Was very
super talented.
good,
Any
and
of the
just-
people on Face Off could have won Face Off.
Sure.
And I think that
said.
edit, I just think like when you watch the edit, you're like, or it makes somebody look like they don't care or whatever.
Right.
And that's what footage
Yeah.
you chose out of all those hours to put up for those 3 seconds.
That's just TV.
5
the
seconds
way
at
they
a
did
time.
It.
Yeah. So don't judge your actor or your online celebrity by their presence that you see that snippet of. That's not the true judge of a human. It's just television, folks.
Absolute TV. Yeah.
So I read it was if I repronounce this, it's a Loa.
Lawa. It's
Lawa.
LWA. That's the spelling of the word. This is like saints
I kept
in
thinking
voodoo.
it was an acronym. But
But now, and that's been the point of debate. I'm fine with education, and I did a lot of homework, and it is unique because of what it is. The two people that you see there, my friends, that's Locke. I don't know if you remember Terrence Locke from Hillwood. That's our friend from high school.
Oh my gosh.
He's got this deep baritone. Like I can't even get to his level of sexy down there. Like he's got this great voice, and I remembered him. And when I went and researched voodoo and its history, coming from Africa through Haiti to Louisiana, through the Caribbean and all this, that's his real hair. He looks, aside from the scar we put on his face to make him look like Papa Legba,
it's all yeah.
That is
it's
wild.
that's all Locke.
Now, didn't he play paintball with us? Didn't he come out? Or-
I'm not like we did a bunch of back then. Locke was too cool, man. He was with the Steppers and the Canes and all the
okay.
man. Just the coolest dudes.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
if he was.
I don't think that he came out necessarily, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did. Like we were all friends. That's the good thing about our network, at least, is that we had a very diverse friend group. I'm grateful for that because
That's wild.
Alita is also there in the makeup. She's got a haircut like mine, or at least did at the time. So doing her prosthetic cowl was awesome because you didn't have to put the ball cap on. You could just rock that. And she's a comedian, so putting both of these people into these different unique roles as Loa, to your point, those are saints. They're voodoo gods, as it were, but there's a pantheon of them. So there's not just a god and then whatever. There's all these different versions for different things. You might pray to one. And there's this kind of system through which they operate that I had to learn. And Papa Legba is also Legba Petro. So he's got one look, and then in the movie, that scar splits open and he's got a whole other look. So it's very interpretive in the art. And that's me as the tree wolf.
There on the middle.
Yeah, I just made Marinette an elemental. And instead of werewolves, I made them tree wolves. You get some liberties. We're making a movie. Same thing with the Native American side in Inuati, Beast of the Water. I talked with the Native American Indian Council. I went down to Louisiana and talked with people about voodoo culture. Yeah, the voodoo was way less. I was, trying to pay people for their time. I'm trying to do research.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get into anything, that you don't want me to. Let me know what the dangerous parts might be in your opinion, But I'm just trying to do my homework so I don't offend anybody.
That's
by not doing your
yeah.
diligence. Yeah, I'm just trying to be respectful, man.
Yeah.
I'm making up monster movies in your religion.
Well,
so
I think a lot of people would, respect you more if by at least making that effort. I think a lot of people get into films and writing or something, and they're just bullshitting the whole way.
Did you even
through.
ask?
And,
Did you look? More than Google or something at least. But yeah, we did a lot of talk, sit down. And real authentic casting as much as we can. Like Timo Kano, Standing Buffalo, he's Ahanu in Beast of the Water.
Beast of the Water,
one of
yeah.
my main liaisons plays the main Native American, authentically cast. He's a Native American.
He's a great guy. He's great.
Yeah, he's awesome. I'm trying to get him in this Walking Dead spinoff we've got brewing. I don't have a role for him yet in Star Wars, but he's just a cool guy. He's got a unique story as being a Native American.
He has great on-screen presence. He looks really.
And not an actor. Like I
Right.
think Ahanu was his first on-screen character, but he took to it. He coaches well from a directing standpoint. But yeah, these are just different things, different people. So Loa is you just try to roll with it and act like you knew how to say it.
It's like my mom said, it sounded all out.
Yeah, it might end up if we have our way. I'd love to go back and revisit that. That was a $250,000 budget. Like pull the curtain back. Like this is one of the things that I appreciate is when people tell you how things were. It's like, well, give me the thing that I'll hear 1,000 times in every interview. Give me the numbers, what you spent, or the thing. I want to make one. How do I make one? My situation is unique in that. I've met some people who had the money, but they just saw what I was doing. So it's not that unique. If you do something that attracts attention, that even if they see your passion in it, a lot of people have gravitated toward me because they see how much doing what I'm doing is genuinely exciting to me.
That's important.
And how much I'll put into it, because that is, I breathe this stuff, man. This is what I do.
I mean, you get up in the morning and you go and you have your shop and you know what you're working on that day.
Yeah, so a little too close. We got to
yeah.
put that in like a separate garage instead of a connected.
Well, yeah.
When we move, that's the next thing, because the fumes.
Yeah.
I hear about that every time.
The wife going, "Why are you spraying in there? What are you doing?"
Yeah, and the puppies. Yeah, the second you crack a lid on some things, it's like, nah, you just, and that's normal. I understand it. I appreciate it. It's a reality of the work that we do. It involves chemicals, and a lot of that you have to have the respirator. You have to have everything open, and even with everything open and respirators on, there's still a general flavor to monsters.
Yeah.
The ammonia, the foam latex, the ammonia from the foam latex smells
resin.
like a cat box if you're not familiar with it. That's the thing that you would think. To us, it smells like foam latex. It smells like monster making in here. What's going on? What are you making?
Yeah.
But other people are like, what is that smell?
The first time I smelled latex was probably 12. I was 12 when I first cracked open a bottle.
Just liquid latex?
Small bottle of liquid latex.
Yeah, they had, that was the thing at Hillwood that I used to get in so much trouble for. I don't know if you remember my troubled youth, but I spent a lot of time in school suspension for the same thing they invited me back for as a celebrity. Liquid latex and monsters and
yeah. And you not that long ago, you did the program you went back for over at Hillwood. I saw the
yeah. But
pictures.
now I think Hillwood's gone. Well, they built a new high school, so the place that we went to high school, which is crazy.
Well, I actually went to Harpeth.
Oh
So,
yeah, you did. So I was
But I knew
we moved out to Harpeth area, but I didn't. I kept driving from there to Hillwood because I had changed schools every single year.
But you're
up.
not the only person I knew at Hillwood. I knew a lot of Hillwood
Yeah,
people.
Brian moved from Kingston Springs area to Bellevue.
Yeah.
And so he did some of the same thing. We had the two schools that are in the general area that some of us went to both.
It's like all of us were like intermingled. All of
Yeah, they
kids
draw the
were-
lines weird
Yeah.
around here, and even though you're zoned for one, the other one is right there. So you just
But
go
never
to
all
it.
at the same
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah, so I did. I got to go back with the news, local news. I think that was Channel 5.
Yeah.
And a zombie in full makeup, and had a lot of fun not getting in trouble or getting locked up for it. It's the Bible Belt back in the late
not
80s,
getting
early
caught
90s.
sniffing latex.
Anything you did, if you were carrying a Motley Crue tape, you were going to hell, and you were
The devil.
You were or if you were into horror
Fun.
movies, you were going to hell. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I was also like heavily influenced, like summer school, Chainsaw, like all like that was me. I had my
Chainsaw
lock.
and Dave,
Yeah,
yeah.
Chainsaw and Dave, man. Like that was I wanted to be one of the effects guys, and so the access that I had was riding my BMX bike or my skateboard at the time, depending on which era. Getting to the local drugstore to pick up the Fangoria magazine, the Gore Zone, whatever. Thankfully, that dude was cool enough to subscribe to and had it on the shelf. Mm-hmm. And that's how these things were made.
I used to get it at Great Escape. On
Yeah,
21st.
man. Great Escape was a good local thing. It still is, but it's different now.
Not the same.
It's not the same.
The old wood floors, the dank smell.
Yeah.
Block
multi-tier.
Multi-tier. Yeah.
Real stuff.
Yeah, that was the real.
That's
good
back when
days.
we got some of these kind of things
Yeah.
coming back
Comics.
around. Yeah, coming back around.
Show that to the camera there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, so that's where Loire comes from. That's the name. I didn't come up with it, but I thought it would be good as the title. There were several All Saints Eve, All Saints Day, All Saints this. I didn't want it to get lost in that mix. In hindsight, we probably should put it All Saints Eve, Loire. Take advantage of the A placement.
reverse
That's
it.
why Beast of the Water is Beast of the Water, because it starts with a B. They just retitled it so it would be earlier on the search. It was weird.
Well, I guess it's some corporate decision there that
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, at some point you have to yield to the people funding and making those decisions when they're out of your hand.
Yeah.
I got that director's cut clause now in the contract. So at least I make sure that the next movie that I make comes out as the movie that I intended to make.
That's important.
Yeah, it really is.
yeah.
Creative control.
It's so much time and effort to make a movie, and you get to put this whole family together, and you all put all your best effort into achieving a common goal. And if that goes off the rails in any sort of real way, as its steward, as the director, that vision is supposed to be your responsibility. And if you get to the point where it's no longer your ability to control, but still your responsibility, it's a very frustrating place to be. You're like, but that's not what I would do. A very Jurassic Park moment. That's not what I'm going to do. But that's you have to accept these things, and so is life. Is that so? It's a very Zen kind of place I've just come to accept. There are things that you can change, and the peace to accept the things that you can't. Be like water. There's a lot of different
Yeah,
people
Bruce
over
Lee
time.
philosophy.
Be the change you want to see in the world, from Bruce Lee to Gandhi. There's a lot of people that try to remind you to just chill, just relax, and pick your fights, really.
Yeah.
And do the things to prevent the fight in the first place. That's where I try to be. I don't want to fight anymore. I'm in John Wick before the movie started. Everything's buried in the concrete, bro. Please don't
Until
come
it has
out.
to come out.
Yeah, that's a scene I can't watch since it came out.
I can't either. No.
Excellent.
Nope.
Excellent. Masterful. The whole movie is on point.
Yeah. It's-
Because you're fine with everything he does because of that scene. Damn right. Damn right. That's movie making. I'm like, man, if I can ever write something that hits hard enough in that first act that says I can do whatever I want with the next two. Oh man,
pretty much signed off on everything being okay after
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
That and nothing.
Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen are Burns skeletons. I'm on the space adventure. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I cannot tolerate staying here another moment. I gotta go do something.
Yeah, it just it cuts you loose from that point to go.
It's a story moment that you understand it.
Yeah.
As the audience member, as a human. And there's a lot of that stuff getting lost now with AI, I feel like, because you got to still relate to the people, and it takes sometimes a person, in my opinion, to understand what that's about. You can recycle the same thing, but did you pick the part to recycle that was the important part?
Yeah.
Well, it's just like you said with the Star Wars fights. You know, a lot of people like the fights. Eventually, you're going to want to know, you know, why are they fighting? What led up to this? And so if you just took John Wick, just going killing hundreds of people, you're thinking it's like, oh, he's
if you just started with that,
like just
he's the bad guy.
like if the if the syndicate was like in a mall and then he just comes raiding the mall and just shooting everybody, you think he's like a mass.
He's the Terminator.
Yeah, he's the Terminator. It's like, oh, they killed his dog. It's like
You find out later.
like,
And they're all
it's
bad
like,
guys.
have at it,
Okay.
dude.
He's actually just doing everybody a favor.
I liked the film, but I only give it 2 stars because I didn't really know why he was killing people.
Yeah, you got to include the important parts, and that's where we try to make sure
Context
everything's
is
story first, context,
Yeah.
all of that. If you don't have a good script, why are you starting to make a movie? And that's oftentimes the case. You get release date for this title.
Yeah.
Somebody want to write that?
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that's the proper way to do it.
You think AI is going to, like, pendulum's going to swing away from it?
It's
And
already
backlash?
such an issue. Still, there's a lot of strikes still going on about that because it's such in the upper deck and that decision making. If you're just concerned about dollars, which is a big part of a lot of things from just a general humanity perspective, that if you don't pay attention to the people side, look at the results.
Yeah. It's garbage.
Yeah, that's what the audience says.
Yeah.
You know,
Nobody wants it.
Look at your box office receipts.
Well, nobody's going to the movies these days.
And what's the thing that's different about what's the commonality there? You know, is because you leaned on recycling tools for creativity,
Right.
and it just didn't pick the best parts to recycle. And even if it did pick the best parts to recycle, which is sometimes said about people. Andy Warhol had a quote that I didn't care for. It's like, like something like good artists borrow, great artists steal, or something like that. And it's in the you're going to do things from your experience, and so you've experienced these things before, and so that's part of your now creativity. As you make something new, it's based on your experience of things already. That is the kind of excuse given to AI. Well, that's what we do, so that's what it does. But it does it directly.
Yeah.
You put it through a human filter of experience. How did you feel? When did that song come on that you cried to? Why? What was going on in your life?
What was the catalyst for it?
Right.
Yeah. There's a humanity in you that changes it.
And so when you try to convert that to a story, that's where the story should come from, is the things that matter.
Yeah.
You know, having recently scrubbed through thousands of hours of Walking Dead, doing my research because I've got to write a Walking Dead series. As the writer and director, I've got to come up with a Walking Dead story that will be a Walking Dead story for the fans as a spinoff show.
That's compelling.
That feels like it's in.
Yeah.
So that's that same thing. Go do talk. You know, there's cast members from The Walking Dead that are on it. Sonia Thompson, who was also in Loa. I got to work with her early on. She was in the tank scene with Rick. So
we actually just saw her the other night. We were watching the beginning.
Awesome.
We went back to the beginning, and we were sitting there, and me and my son were sitting there, and I said, "There's Sonia."
Yeah.
And so we were really.
I got to meet her and Larry Mainland early on because they were going out as a couple. They were some of the main feature zombies.
Didn't Larry
Yeah, Larry passed.
so rest in
but he
peace.
he was awesome. His memory is a blessing.
Yeah.
And Sonia is awesome and working. She's out doing things, touring, and so she's going to be a part of it. But part of my job, and I started with, was, well, you were already dead, you know. Let me talk to you about what we might do with your backstory, because we're going to rewind in flashbacks.
Cool.
And show kind of what happened. We got to care about the people. And so if I do work with Sonia, how do I do that? Do I just start with her already walking down in makeup every day as a zombie? Like, that's not very compelling use of my great actress.
No.
You know, let's do something with you, Sonia. So I'm going to put that into flashback so we can care about the people, so that if and when we do ever decide to go to that moment where she makes her arc, you'll care about it.
That's pretty sweet. I like that.
Yeah. So the same thing with Oscar, Oscar Rodriguez III with Oscar Red Hat. He's awesome. He's a great artist. He's a maker. But he was in a bunch of different roles, from Whisperer. He was in one of the bodyguard outfits in the later season. There's so much. I don't remember every name for everything. Yeah. The white stormtrooper looking dudes.
Yeah.
But he was one of those for the new Civilization kind of compound they had toward the end of the main regular season. So now I think I'm back into Fear the Walking Dead, and I just watched Santi's episode. I keep having to watch Santi's episode over and over again, so I'm matching up continuity. Same thing with Santi. What happened to you? Oscar, how do we tie your two characters together? Did you guys know each other before? That'd be a great, you were a mechanic, what'd you do before? Because we're trying to make this story. And as I watched The Walking Dead, I felt as a viewer, there's a moment where everybody had a decision to make on whether they were going to keep watching the show. And a lot of people didn't.
I did not.
Everybody knows the moment we're talking about with Glenn. And it was the whole context of that. I remember Danny Lamore and James Brown, they kind of split. James come into the store, Danny's comic store, when The Walking Dead was a comic, before any of this ever happened. And James a zombie fan, so he would always come in for the comic. So we knew this version of different things were coming because we knew about the comics.
Yeah.
And then I knew in the background that they had done everybody, so that you would not be able to know. There would be no leak.
They had shot.
They smashed
it with
everybody.
Yeah.
Lucille tasted every single person on that. It was terrible. And you can watch those if you want to see the multiverse version where whoever in the whole lineup gets it. Those are out there. But that was a moment I felt before that, though. The zombie threat had been so diminished. Like, you had little kids just dealing with them. It was too easy.
Yeah.
To me, like, one loose in this house is a total fucking nightmare.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But you get different versions, different people's takes. There have been takes on the undead since people have been dying.
28 days later, scariest.
Yeah. Are they fast? Are they
fast?
Horde oriented? Yeah. My daughter and I played Left 4 Dead. Brian, Lee, everybody.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah, awesome game. But they're different versions. Do they have specialties?
Right. Sure. Yeah.
But it still should be a threat. And I was a Dale fan.
I like Dale.
The humanity, man. I was like,
love Dale.
When we lost Dale, I was like, I didn't feel anybody else until maybe Herschel, but then it was a different version.
Dale was definitely the Rock.
When
he was the first
of the group.
Dale was the humanity. Herschel was the father.
Yep.
And there's a difference.
Well, I left when they killed Carl.
Oh yeah, right on. There's a couple of moments. It's a thing, they're Game of Thrones level with changing the game up sometimes on the who's going to go down, and a real type of thing. It was just became too person to person as far as the violence.
Yeah.
But the person to person is where the humanity shines and why you're living in the first place. So that's what we're trying to get to.
Yeah, and I've been regretting it, and I want to go back and I want to finish it.
Yeah, they're all out there. They're
Yeah.
on Netflix now.
Yeah.
I feel bad because it was after Negan was pretty much introduced, and after pretty much
Great
the big-
casting, great. I mean,
big-
masterfully done to have been so effective to just demolish your own fan base.
He did
because
like that, after that. Like
hey, Jeffrey Dean
online,
Morgan, props, bro. I know that's got to be hard because
The because I watched Talk of the Dead with Chris Hardwick.
Yeah,
like
Talking
after
Dead.
every
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
And it's just like the uproar of social media just was enough to crash everything.
man, there was some "How dare you!" Like there was a bunch
Scott
of
Gimple, screw
And
you.
so
People were so
but-
mad at him.
I have to go to like my dad and my little sister. They're still watching the show. Like they're just
There's plenty of
There's-
good everything still. Like there's plenty of story beyond that that is
Um,
great. But
yeah.
that was a tough.
like now I want to know what's happening with Rick and
Oh, they get
show.
back to it, man. There's some.
so
There was a long time. I was like, is there going to wait till the movie? Oh, here, so
Yeah, now it's Rick and Michonne, and then there's Daryl Dixon.
if
Carol,
you're
and-
if you're into the dead
Maggie
stuff,
and-
yeah, I didn't finish Fear. I got a long way through Fear, but I didn't finish Fear. So
I kicked off. I liked some of the characters early on, but there were a couple that I was like,
it was hard for me to connect.
but they're
think.
changing, they're arcing, they do different things as you go. I also like the multilingual aspect. A lot of people didn't care for that. I appreciate that.
that was great.
You
I
know,
thought
a lot
it
of
was
it's in
fine.
Spanish.
always- well, that's
you
a
know,
little
so
rare.
there's
It was set
You need some diversity.
down near Mexico.
totally. Did you watch?
Shocking.
Did you watch Daryl in
geographically-
France?
Yeah,
You know.
I've watched some of that. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's the same thing. But sometimes your average audience is like, I don't want to read it, something
Yeah.
like that. So you never know. These are decisions you have to make in your creative adventure taking as a filmmaker. So, but there's plenty of Walking Dead stuff, and we're going to do our best with Back from the Dead. Julio, Back from the Dead, his story, and that was Santi's character on The Walking Dead was Julio. He gets hit, but you don't see him die. You don't see him turn. You don't get, he just gets injured.
yeah.
And so as a, former EMS system kind of guy, we can justify where he got hit and not being dead. That's a big shoulder blade that you got right there, big scapula. You can break some ribs. You can ride around, exit wound. He's down for a couple of months. And that's a good part of where we're coming in is starting with Santi, but he's down. So you pick up where you left off. And that's what we did with the Star Wars thing, too. You could cut this into the existing franchise.
Yeah.
Hopefully seamlessly, because we tried to do it as best we could to the level of that if I get to make a Star Wars movie for real, hopefully it would fit in Star Wars maybe more than some of the other ones because of attention to source material. And
Yeah.
just general making sure that you made sure your thing fit with the rest of it.
There's a lot, and I mean the sequel trilogy is a mess.
I think even they admit that at this point.
They know it was. There's so much wrong with it, and they know it was a cash grab.
Plenty of
And they
good stuff
admit
in
it.
there. Like anytime that debate comes up, I try to stay on the positive side of it as much as I agree. Story wise,
I
needed more project management as a whole for a trilogy to make
Sure.
sure all of the three parts connected in maybe a more cohesive way.
My-
But even then, there's still things that I love. There's so many talented people making so much awesome stuff. If I don't like
Yeah.
what that character did, I'll watch the little crystal foxes that look awesome.
Well,
And, you know what I mean? Something. I'll find something that I do
with the
like.
makers. I'm not upset with the makers in the least. I think the people who worked on it did tremendously good work. I'm upset with, like you said, the project management. I'm a little upset with direction, and I'm certainly the cohesiveness, and also the very last film. I'm more upset with that than with Rian Johnson, the way he did it, because I think Abrams, in his effort to try to stitch things back together, smashed too much stuff into the last film. I thought the last film, honestly, should have been 2 films.
Yeah, there's this is a whole thing that I appreciate and does fill up a lot of my spare time. So when I'm in the studio, I've got a lot of this conversation going on in the background as kind of R&D, see what the people think. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of, and it's a whole industry. There's people making good money on just having this conversation on podcast or on YouTube. Star Wars Theory. There's several different channels that I'll listen to or watch. Generation Tech, whether it's about Stupendous Wave, whether it's about just different lore, talking about the books. like Stupendous Wave, or whether it's like Generation Tech talks about the ships and the different things like that, or Theory, and some of the other people get into this heavy debate about whether you like it or don't, and why, and whether it's good or not, and why, whether this should go into a George Lucas version of Star Wars. And I appreciate that. He's actually Theory is actually coming to Nashville for ICCC, which is a great local convention. It's not all Star Wars, but it's the biggest Star Wars thing here in the Southeast, in my opinion, that I've been to. So that's coming up, I think, in May. And so that debate, he does lightsabers too. He makes lightsabers now. So he's coming in as a merchant, but he also has this online thing that is this exact conversation.
Star Wars Theory.
Yeah. So if you want to hear people engage in the conversation, really get gloves off about it with their real opinion. It's just people's opinion. You know, if he thinks what he thinks, man, power to you. I may agree with a lot of that. I may disagree with that part. I may not like everything you say at all. Like, you know, that's what opinion pieces are about. They're editorials. That's what you think. And having the space and freedom to talk about that is awesome. And they get, hopefully there is somebody like me that's in filmmaking, hopefully in the Lucas Disney side, that monitors that stuff and listens for genuine constructive feedback, so that they hear a lot of the complaints are the same across all these channels. I would be self-reflective enough to at least take note of that. Yeah. Run it through the personal filter and see if I need to, look at the man in the mirror and see if I need to make some changes. Chicka change, and then make better content for my audience. That's, you're making it for yourself as a filmmaker, but as a big industry, you're making it for the revenue, but the revenue is a person spending their money, not a dollar bill walking down and tossing itself in your pocket. There's a human there. And if you can make that human happy or feel or scared or whatever the point of the thing you're trying to do, they should be willing to make that exchange. That's all you're really trying to do, make a fair exchange.
I think a lot of industries nowadays have lost sight of the human experience for what they're serving. They're not serving a customer. Like the theater.
Algorithms are like the bane of the human existence, I think, because it's too much information sometimes and not enough interaction.
Well, they don't, you go to the theater and after you pay your money to go in and sit down, it's almost like, there's no personality to it anymore. It's like, it used to be a whole experience. I mean, I know there's the idea of
let's go out to the movies.
Yeah, there used to be. It used to be an
It actually
event.
used to be like a whole movies. They're like 2 hours.
It wasn't a car note to go out with your family either.
Right. It was anybody could go.
Evening.
Yeah,
It's like, I'll be back. In
it was
a couple
affordable.
hours.
Yeah,
and it was a way to spend time, and you would engage. There's a lot of things that you have to accept that change over time. Our movie watching in a streaming era has changed to the point where it's maybe now about to change again. Same thing with movie making. When's the last time you went to a movie in a theater?
Last year, I think, was the last time I went.
And how many movies last year?
One. I
see what I'm saying.
Can't even remember what it was either.
At least 7.
You saw 7 movies last year in the theater?
Well, that's good. That's a high average.
That's a lot.
I forced myself to go. I went to go see Nosferatu in December.
Oh, that's
right.
right.
On. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
So
that's a good choice. I enjoyed Nosferatu. That's a good one.
Well, you got to remember, I'm dragging a whole crew of people when I go.
That's changed the whole dynamic.
I'm paying for a lot of people when I go.
Yeah, it's like everybody go to the movie during the winter, so you've got all the pockets to sneak your drinks
they
and
need to pay ahead.
save that $200 in concession.
They gotta
But
pay to play.
It's like, hey, hand me the turkey leg out of your jacket here.
It may go back to how it was originally, where you're going to a Sony movie theater and you don't pay. You have a subscription. Like there's something different, because it used to be originally that the movie production companies made the theaters to show their product kind of deal. And now we're at this different, you got some huge industry influencers like James Cameron that are doing different tech that might revolutionize the way you watch movies.
Yeah.
And at Transworld, there was a guy, Robert, Bob, something. He had a no glasses 3D presentation.
What?
I was blown away. Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, talk to Bob about it. But it was, you're looking at this TV and it would reach out to you as much as the television gave it room to, like you would look at the big China or Times Square where they're cheating a projection map look based on the pixels that they have. It looks like the tiger's reaching out towards you.
Right.
But that's because of how it's
It
presented on
reminds
their
me
format.
of the Jaws from Back to the Future 2, where it comes out of
it is that technology.
Whoa.
Except for it's not a hologram. This is cheating your eyeball to accept it without the glasses.
Holy crap.
And he told me he had met with Cameron for like an hour. I was like, you got an hour of James Cameron's time, dude?
Boy.
I can see why. Look what you're onto. And
Yeah.
so that's the kind of, what is this booth while you're walking around Transworld? Like, there's this super technology that will probably be part of the future in your movie going or your home TVs. Like,
yeah.
oh,
Let's say
Bob, I
if
hope
they-
you make it rich, bro. You got
Let's say
a
if they
very
put
cool
that
idea.
That
on
is
TVs,
nuts.
and we could probably not, or see a lot of people not going to theaters because of that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Myself
I would-
included. I
I
mean,
would
I
rather
like
sit at home.
3D, but I'm only going to watch a certain movie in 3D. Fun, true story and side note, but the last movie I took my father to, because dad took me to Predator. You know, dad was part of the reason why I like what I like, because he likes some sci-fi dad movies. He was the dad, and 80s was a great time for big action. You know, we tried to go see The Abyss and wound up in Lords of the Deep. I'll let you guys do that. Oh no, what accidental movie did we wind up in?
Lords of the Deep. I don't even know
God, it had Hot Lips Houlihan in it.
Oh, Sally Kellerman.
Right.
Okay.
Oops, wrong movie. It was
Yeah.
like the least budget of all those. Leviathan, Deep Star 6,
Yes.
The Abyss,
The
Lords
Abyss
of the
is
Deep.
incredible.
Lords of the Deep got a Beast of the Water name. So you can kind
I
of, you see
got you.
what happened there. But anyway, but
Okay.
it made it to the theater. Props to it. We spent money on it. We were the only two. But we watched it. It was a movie. We watched it.
It was a movie.
It was entertaining enough. You
It
know,
was longer than 30
I'll put it
minutes.
this way: I remember it. I still talk about it. So it had its impact on me as a film, mainly because it wasn't the one we meant to see.
Okay.
I was there to see Deep Star 6 or Leviathan or The Abyss. Any of those three would have
Any of
done,
those
because I
movies.
wanted big, deep monster movie.
Right. Underwater
Yes,
stuff.
something that was gonna, give
The
that
Abyss had a
impact.
huge impact on me. Yeah.
Yeah, all three
Yeah.
decent films. Lords of the Deep was different, but the last film I took my father to was a theater experience. I didn't know. I was like, let's go to the movie. Let's go watch Ford versus Ferrari. Let's check that out.
Yeah.
My dad was a muscle car guy. Like, he used to race cars back when he was young. Like, that's where I got my affinity for it. But we accidentally wound up in a 4DX theater.
Oh, wow.
My dad's like 71, 72 at the time, and was in the beginning stages of dementia and Alzheimer's and some things, or whatever they were, just beginning. But he's fine, mobile, walking around. Let's go to a movie. Everything's good. But we weren't ready for a 4DX movie. I don't know if you guys know what a 4DX movie is. It's the one you ride.
It's a sensory.
Yeah, I didn't-
I was
environment.
gonna say it's way more immersive.
That
than-
was the theater. It was at the time when we were there. It's like, all right, well, let's check it out. I didn't realize it, and it was an exciting adventure in the movie theater. Unfortunately, Dad's about that life, even at 70, whatever he was at the
Oh,
time.
wow.
We
Good for
watched
him.
it. Yeah, so we rode that movie, spraying jets and wind. And
He was having a ball, wasn't he?
I dare to say, yeah, like the decision to do that voluntarily wouldn't have been made probably.
Really?
And he, I think, appreciated that he got to do something like that.
That's great.
Even though it's just a moving chair, but man,
still.
that makes some people sick. It's not,
I wouldn't mind if I went to go see Nosferatu, and every time he bit someone, like just red slime just shot out.
That
Like,
would be-
just
no.
cannon out into the side.
Yeah, that's like
they give you pawn chips.
That's like my buddy Steve Toland. They did the Evil Dead musical or the live show where they
Oh,
were
shit.
blasting everybody with
That sounds
blood
like a
cannons.
war concert.
I
Yeah,
didn't-
with shooting stuff all over.
Yeah,
people.
real deal.
Well, that'd been terrifying because the remake of Evil Dead. Well, some people think it's a sequel, but I think it's just a remake. The ending scene that was. Did you see it? Pretty much, it was like a.
Is that the one with Jason Lee, or was it? Or
I think. I can't remember.
oh no, that's Amityville. Never mind. Go ahead.
But it was like a shower of blood, just like.
Yeah, if you guys seen The Substance,
No.
Oh man,
Yeah, I've heard good things. I've heard
get
good
down,
things.
get down. Yeah, it is the new spectacle. Like it to me is an homage to the Reanimator.
Oh,
Oh my God, it's
I love
it's
Reanimator.
out there, man.
Yeah.
Definitely check out The Substance.
Okay.
Props to Demi Moore, man.
I heard, everything
Just
about
bold
it.
decision making to
I've
to
seen the
present
trailer
yourself
for it. Yeah.
as a man or a woman at an older age where you're competing in the script versus a younger person. That's what I'm doing
Yeah.
as Darth Maul. It's me at 50 versus Adam at 25.
Wow.
We're both training up for our scenes where we throw down and get into a basically like a shirtless fight. So at 50, I've got to make sure I'm looking like I'm out of the comic book Darth Maul. Darth Maul never gets out of shape, bro. He's Zabrak.
Well, she's had quite a resurgence in film and TV, and she's on.
She's a beautiful woman,
Landman.
regardless. But there are different
Yeah.
things that happen in the script that put her in a very vulnerable position. That either way are very realistic. Having been around both men and women in their prep, specifically in theater or any other thing where you're wanting to present, and then something like I've done Darth Maul and
Yeah.
that line is crooked and now I have to and so there's this frustrated moments. There's the whole Hollywood dynamic of
Yeah.
spectacle. Dennis Quaid, man, props to him too. There's bold decision making with people that put themselves in this I'm also very empathetic. So like, welcome to the
Yeah.
Dollhouse. I had to leave the theater. I was so embarrassed for the little girl who does a great job in that movie. I was too embarrassed. I couldn't take it. That's what it was supposed to make you feel, was that. And so when these moments of heavy feeling of obtrusive Hollywood producer, just the shrimp scene, like you mother, you like. I love
Just wanna
Dennis
beat the
Quaid. I
hell
want
out
to
of him.
hate that guy now. Like it's one of those things. That's what's no, you don't. But
yeah.
you see the acting, and you're like, fuck, well done, man, across the board.
If you can make someone hate you as a character,
Right.
then you're doing your job.
Yeah,
So-
and then you see him in the next thing, you're like, my man,
Yeah.
But both of them rock the A game. Everybody in the whole movie was just on point.
Yeah.
And then it's an effects spectacular. That's the thing you don't really. You see some in the trailer, and you're like, it's probably going to be all the way off the deep end. Props. That's why it got some of the awards. It should have gotten more.
I haven't
Just
seen it. I'll
as an
have to
effects
check
fan,
it.
it's rare you see him really just full on go for it. Like, you're just okay, and not to like to your point earlier. If you're into the necro thing, you can. There's necromancer. There's some movies that are about that, but are you trying to make a snuff film, bro? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
depends on what you're going for.
Yeah, it just.
What kind of kinks are we?
What was it?
diving
9mm, 8mm?
8
Nicolas
millimeter.
Cage way back.
Yeah.
That bothered a lot of people, but if you watch it now, you're like, have you seen like Serbian film or whatever?
Yeah,
I don't want to watch that movie.
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
oh
Yeah,
my-
I don't want to watch that.
That's
no.
that's where Tate comes in. Like Tate's got the appetite for that kind of. You see it in his makeups. He's always trying to push the edge and get to you.
Working with some of the no, it was what really bothered me, and not wanting to do when I chose to step away from working and doing what I was going to do, and the producer that I had worked with previously on this couple independent projects that I had done, what really cracked me up was she. And I knew that this was something not for me. And I didn't have a problem with the horror aspect. I didn't have a problem with the actor dressing the way she was going to dress, because I was described it. And the setting, I was going to do the set just fine. It was peeling away the onion to find out all of the stuff that was going on with it. And I really had a problem with my producer not telling me over, I'm like trying to.
You can't surprise somebody the day on set. Oh, by the way, we're having a nude scene, or
right, and it
something
was,
terribly graphic.
and that's what it was going to be. It was going to be
You
something
know.
super graphic and like very.
That's a misstep.
And I kept telling her, I was like, "Look, I've got to be there. I need to know what all's going on." And she's like, "Well," and then finally she would like wheedle out I'd have to wheedle out all this information out of her to find out about all this stuff, and I was like, "Annabelle, if you're gonna," and then finally I had to like just stop and just say, I can't. I don't feel comfortable doing this. So
Yeah, Letty in this most recent one, he's got to rough up one of the female characters. And so there was a lot of conversation beforehand, just the two of us, hey, let me know what you feel is appropriate for this scene. Talk with the director as well. Talk with everybody, prep everybody for the scene. Same thing with anytime there's the prop weapons. You know, there's a bunch of things that you have to do for safety, mental safety too. Like if
Make
you're...
sure everybody on set is
All right,
comfortable
we're about to
with
light
what-
this lady on fire.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? Everybody understand what we're doing here. We're going to have this talk real quick about what's about to happen. And that should have been in the dailies. That should have been in the script and there should have been a well-oiled machine of conversation about that beforehand.
yeah.
So that's a bummer that happened, but things like that happen on different things from time to time. And there is no real manual. Like when people ask, how'd you make your movie? It's different for everybody, you know. If you get into the industry, how did you get into the industry? What industry really, in quotes, is that? You
There's
know?
a big margin
which
for that,
department were you in when you started, and where are you in that machine? And so we're looking to go again. I've got the next one up might be Tarnation, which is my zombie western comedy that I wrote with Danny Lamore.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, man,
sounds awesome.
It could be fun. I wrote it as a buddy cop movie for Chuck Norris and Arnold Schwarzenegger, because they're 80-ish, somewhere
Yeah.
in that ballpark now. So I wrote it as a kind of retired buddy cop thing for those guys, all based off of Danny's idea. Like this is all just his baby. He was like, you do the screenplays. Here's my idea. You pluck it out. We'll kick it back and forth. And it just was so much fun it's like The Walking Dead meets the Looney Tunes meets Blazing Saddles.
Oh God!
Absolute mayhem.
Yeah, I mean, when we go into a mine scene, because you're out there in the Wild West, and mining for gold is always a part of these things. So a lot of it's very stereotypical by nature. And the name of it's Tarnation. Come on. But in the entrance of the mine, we're going in there. There's a sign on the wall that we have in the script that just says "Uncomfortable historical accuracies ahead." And when we hit the lights, they go out in the cave. They're all animated. They're just Looney Tunes eyeballs. Yeah, I mean
that kind of thing.
Why
happens.
not? Yeah, it's so much fun. The whole story really is about these three bandits. And so we kind of got open casting, but I'd like to get some comedy people in there. One, got to have Danny Trejo. He's really the star of the whole thing.
He's gonna be awesome.
Danny would be the star. We
awesome,
met him a couple of times out in different convention events here in Nashville. Honestly, my daughter scared him from under the table with a little thing. He was like, got a little jump scare, and we got a picture with him because he's just awesome as a human. In every instance that I've been around him, and as a character, man,
yeah,
Machete. Come on, you get all these different characters that he's ever been come to life.
Con Air and every
and so in this
films.
one, a lot of it revolves around him. It's a gold heist kind of setup, but somebody like Theo Vaughn would be great to have as Skeeter, just because of that comedy. There's a lot of room for ad lib stuff if you get a real comedian.
Yeah.
To come in and what do you think goes here? If you like the joke that I wrote, awesome, that makes me feel good. But what else? While you're in the scene, sometimes this organic thing comes up and
lot
your
of
banter.
improv.
The characters come to life on their own if you do a good job hiring your actor.
That'd be awesome. Just have somebody just rolling with it. Just
Yeah. And then some new heartthrob that is the main lead acting man. That role could go to anyone from, if it's story appropriate, you want to catch one kind of on the edge of the backside, going for their one last heist kind of deal as the leading man. You could still pull a Clooney, a Brad Pitt, somebody that's on, they did an assassin movie or something together recent, something like
Think
that.
of a Bullet Train.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Where you're
yeah.
a leading man for sure, but this is you're gonna try to do your thing so you can step out of the game, retire.
Yeah.
Jason Statham, like I don't
Pretty
care.
much so,
Somebody
yeah.
that's like an older leading man that, or you could just have the new guy, the young. What's the dude from Twisters?
Oh, the guy that was in Top Gun.
Yeah, he's
guy.
awesome. Like,
Yeah.
but you could just pick somebody that you you had an affinity for as somebody that's likable, a good leading man. And, so any of those, it's kind of open casting still. It's all a dream casting, but we've been in touch with Norse family about the script, and they're open to it. Also might be something where it winds up being anime.
There we go.
Because that would open a lot of doors with the things I was going to do anyway. And man, I like a lot of what Netflix is doing now with, man, I love Castlevania, Baki. Like there's a bunch of different things
I'm
that
watching Sakamoto Days.
Yeah. Blue Eye Samurai.
That was good
There's
too.
a bunch of things that are just been really good as Netflix originals. Same thing with Amazon. Was it Last Ride of the Rohirrim?
Yeah, I was going to watch that like a couple weeks ago, and I got sidetracked, and my kids watched it, wound up watching it, and they were like, "You got to watch this." And I was like,
Love, Death, Robots.
said it was
like
great
for Netflix. Like there's a bunch of, just depending on the platform. I'm an animation fan growing up. Got hooked early on that, and so I'd love to be able to do a part. That also opens up the voice acting. It'd make it a lot easier on all the talent. Fly out to Chuck, hey, record all your lines. Arnold, record all your lines. You don't have to bring everybody on set. It'd still be limited, thinking about it in two different forms of production. The budgets aren't wildly different, but the means of production might be.
voice acting is probably, they would probably love to do that much more, show up to work in sweatpants.
And it might give a lot more like freedom in the fun department.
Yeah.
Because it's an exaggerated script. It really is.
They probably would love doing their lines and ad lib several things. And
I've got great concept art already that, seeing them in that Netflix anime type of style that they have, it's very watchable. Like the more I do on it, the more I'm like, this could work either way. I'm fine. I'm open to either one. And so we're talking about that. That's the next thing that I'm really working on. That script's been in the can for a couple of years now. So this is another, sometimes behind the curtain, how long it takes. Like Total Recall took like 20 years to get made.
Is that all?
Yeah. So yeah, these are, overnight successes, 20 years in the making.
Well, I wrote a script like 20 years ago and it's still sitting in my house.
That's probably good then. Like break that out, get the dust off. Let's see it.
Well, I need to redo it in final draft, and I've got to rewrite it like three more times.
Put it through spell check first, but then send it my way, man.
So 2 more years?
Yeah, 2 more years.
2 more years.
I just got feedback from a gentleman online that hit me up on Facebook with the script, and I take the time, and I read his script, and I gave him some real honest feedback. I think he called it brutally honest, but I'm trying to give a real answer. I don't think anybody wants an answer crafted for them to make them feel good. I think they want the answer.
You don't need BS answers. You need to know the real truth.
If you think 2 + 2 is 5,
then
and I
you're wrong.
just tell you 5 because it makes you feel good, and I don't give you the truth that it's 4. In my understanding of mathematics, I could be wrong, but based on the information that I have, here's the truth. And it's still subjective, so I'm just giving him, mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
You don't need to capitalize these things. Make sure you do on these things. General, I always point to Save the Cat. Like, if you want story structure in a generalized way, here's an easy format to follow that's really easy to digest, and you can kind of just reference as a guide to start from. You can. Once you learn the basic rules of the road, you can be a race car driver if you want to. Go find the track for that. And so you can start with the structure and then flip it on its head like Inception or something, or Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
But you should have understood the mechanics first of how it at least operated to begin with before you... But you don't have to. That's how some of these crazy people do all this guitar madness with the slappy... how did you learn how to play that? So you don't have to follow the rules, but if you're looking for education and you're asking me, I'm going to point to some guidelines to help you out. Right. And he told me he just won best screenplay thing. He just hit me up and he was like, hey, I kind of killed my darling and, took it through the meat grinder and redid it. And I just got this award for this thing. So that was really cool. To hear that somebody else had success for whatever reason. Everybody can win. There's enough room for everybody. It's not a competition. You don't have to.
That's awesome. He came
climb over me to get to your success, and I don't have to keep you from success. I can give you a hand, and if you get it, I hope that you would share it. Like the Terrifier thing. I think I got some traction on that post. I just they're making so much money, and then you hear what happened to the Cabin in the Woods actors that didn't get any feedback on the millions of dollars made off, not Cabin in the Woods, Blair Witch.
Oh yeah, yeah, they got
You know,
screwed so bad.
You know, and then you hear this wild success, and you hope, like, I got friends that worked on that movie. Did you guys, you know how much money that made? So I try to build that into my model of my films going forward, like the director's cut, where if it does well, that you should get more than a 2-cent residual check.
Yeah,
that's not worth the paper it's printed on. You know, it's
right. It costs more to deposit than it would for you.
Yeah, but you know, top end people, like including myself as EPs and people putting in and making sure these movies even happen, make my money. But there's so much money that you can easily share that and not miss it, and feel good about yourself at the end of the night. Like, giving feels so good, man. Getting to have that, like you said, pay it forward opportunity. I always, when you read a bio, I'm like, who wrote this? I'm not sure where this bio might come from.
I know, you know where that one came from.
Yeah, I think so. That's probably IMDb.
Yeah.
But
that's why I pulled that one.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's one of the best resources. But even then, it's kind of like Wikipedia. You know, somebody could adjust it and make a approval where you don't know, and you get, let me go tweak this. Somebody credits you in a thing that you're not really in. You're like, thanks, but I'm not in that. But yeah, if you have that opportunity to give back, it feels so good to be able to employ all the people. So when I got the movie, yay, I feel good. I got a movie. I can't make a movie by myself, man. That's not. I mean, you probably could mount a camera to your chest and film yourself, like Hardcore Henry or something.
Yeah.
We did a 6:15 p.m. I think it got called Eyes of the Dead. I think it got retitled. It's all a POV mounted zombie movie done that way.
Almost like a first-person shooter type thing.
Yeah, straight up. It's like a video. And it was shot before Hardcore Henry, but Hardcore Henry came out first because it was a bigger movie. But yeah, we filmed that up in Pittsburgh.
Isn't that Sharto Copley in Hardcore Henry? Isn't that who's?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen that one.
I was trying to remember who it was.
It's one of those, you know, parkour-y POV. It's interesting. It's dynamic, but like Blair Witch, I'm like, give me a steady cam or
Take
give me a
some
tripod
Dramamine.
shot, something. Yeah, Blair Witch made me sick. I had to step out of the theater for a minute.
I just looked down like for a while.
But yeah, you should be able to, you know, let that flow back down the mountain, man, because then you get to make another movie. And the people, because I needed the other people to make the movie, I felt really good about the part I didn't like about producing was, what's your rate? I can't afford that. You know, but I have this, if you'll be able to do this. I never said, you come down. I just said, I only have this. And if that doesn't match with, if I can't afford you, okay, you know, my bad. Yeah. Like that's on me, not on you. I'm not going to ask you to come down to this. If I can afford you, great. This is what I have for this line item. And so I, as a producer, used the line item as my defense, so I didn't have to do the thing I hate as an artist, which is be bartered down on my rate and my value. Then I wind up doing something for less than makes me happy, and then I'm not happy doing a thing. And what are we doing here? You know, you're getting a thing that is a product that was made with unhappiness, you know, and is probably not as good. And if we can just agree to a better rate, and you feel good about it, then that good positive energy goes into the thing. There's no animosity between anybody or anything based on it. And every time I have a thing, it's just a fair, what I have as a percentage of the pie. We break that down and try to put that into everything. Like there was no initial profit where somebody in the first or third movie, second movie, any movie along the line made a bunch of money on the front. That happens on the backside when it flips big. And so when you get a Terrifier success that's super awesome and does make a bunch of money, it should make everybody a bunch of money that worked on that thing. Right. Everybody was the family. You remember all that? All those photos we all took together. Yay, we love each other. Did we stop when the check came in? You know, so I don't know what they're doing, and I don't say anything negative. I think they did a great job. A bunch of my friends are on that. I'm just that voice of what I'm going to do. Well, that's not what I'm going to do. You know, when our movies pop and go big, my people that cast and crew that worked on that film should expect some reward to come back because there was reward made, and we all helped to make it. And it may not be the biggest chunk, the people at the top that put in the money that got everybody hired in the first place get their say, but it's got to come downhill. Like, they can't just stay at the top.
Yeah.
Because that's what starts the rebellion. And that's why I like Andor so much, because it shows the reason why, man. You like that boot, that oppressive thing that you feel. That's where that story of resistance comes from. And, it doesn't have the lightsaber fight.
It's real people.
It's
not
people.
space wizards.
It's, man, that monologue, I give up a future sunrise. Like, oh, man, there's so much great story and writing and on screen. I felt like I was in another world. Like,
That's my favorite series so far.
I get the restrictions of some of the volume, and I'm in the middle of rewatching Mando. I watched Book of Boba Fett. I like Skeleton Crew. But there have been some misses that you're like, oh. But that's as a fan, and not everything maybe can be the win. But if you do pay maybe more attention to the over everything story arc,
I'm a Mandalorian, and I like Andor better. That's terrible. It's true.
Well, that's that interesting debate that gets to be had. I try to just always be like, well, I really like this part. There are parts that sure I don't like, but I don't need. Why am I compelled to talk about things I don't like? So I just talk about the things I like.
Right.
And it keeps me from feeling bad or feeling like because there's a difference between, oh, this is hot garbage. You know what I mean? This is a dumpster fire.
No, we're not talking about that.
Any of the, like, that's way too harsh to talk about a whole group of people that really worked hard on a thing, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. So call it what you want. That's your voice. That's your freedom that we serve to protect. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying I don't like Mandalorian, the Mandalorian. I'm saying I like Andor better.
No, I understand. That's what I'm saying. But the online debate is heavy with really differences of opinion. I've done a couple of Star Wars podcasts, including one on the Acolyte.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I felt was off target.
Yeah.
He said, stay on target.
Stay on target.
Yeah. It wandered off base. And as out in 3, I know what that's like on Face Off. One of these kids is doing his own thing. You're easily identified with being out of, and so we were eliminated. And so were they.
Yeah.
That you missed the mark. And so you were judged by the judges.
Yeah.
Judges of the audience. Audience didn't tune in.
Well,
it doesn't matter how mad they got about it necessarily. It's on their decision making. It's the spreadsheet. Did it make money? And that's a weird leverage to be making your decision. But you're a corporation and you're pleasing stockholders, and that's a thing that's a little off the mark when you're trying to make creative decisions.
Do you think the backlash against the fans is fair from the people on the creative side when something like that happens, and when
I think that's a mistake.
That's what I was wondering, because I think
that's a serious mistake,
because that was something that came out when
that's like the Game of Thrones people telling me my TV settings were wrong. The fuck out of here.
I was just like surprised.
Did my television all of a sudden darken itself between the last episode and this episode that you shot in the dark? Oh, yeah. Like it's a choice of filters and shot for a different format or whatever, but you got to make the adjustment on your side. You can't blame me and say my TV's wrong. It's right on everything else. So which one of those kids is doing its own thing?
Exactly.
And that's the truth of how it shakes out. My opinion is kind of irrelevant on whether I think it's fair or not.
Yeah.
That was how it was, and the audience had its say, and that's the truth is at the box office and in the view count and these different things. And a lot of that view count came from, in some capacity, the people reviewing the content.
Yeah.
And there's more money, maybe more views definitely were had in the reviews and trash in it than were made by people viewing the thing in itself, because they heard that it wasn't good, and what they saw when they did watch, they didn't approve of as a viewer. You know, not everything is on. There were a lot of people that thought the Obi-Wan show was not properly. Everybody's got an opinion on everything. I mean, people trash my shit up and down if they want to, but there's plenty of people that say awesome things about it. and it's got good reviews and a positive percentage. Like I think it's like 73. That's better than some of my favorite movies.
That's great.
You know what I mean? Which I don't understand
honestly,
at all.
if
It's
you
not
could get
my
more
movie's
than
not better
60.
than those, but
You got rewatch.
when did it come out? When did your audience watch it? What was their litmus test and their feeling at the time? Were they watching it in COVID and stuck? Were they
Right.
going out voluntarily to pay to see it in the theater? Like there's a bunch of different things that go in line on that. So Star Wars, as it is under Disney, has a lot of different things than it did when it was under Lucas, because they were balancing it against all the theme parks. They're specifically their merchandising now, because they got a hand in that now that it's theirs. And so some of the decisions are made not based on the story mechanics, but how the story mechanics might affect all these other things, and those come back in. So it's not mine to necessarily approve or disapprove until I'm an audience member. I'd love to get a chance to see what it's like to have a story of mine that I might want to direct, or a story of theirs that I'm considered to direct, or a story of mine that I don't direct. What happens? How does that machine work? What does it look like going in versus what does it look like coming out? Because I know what happened to mine. So maybe the best intentions were made on the Acolyte, and this is the result of a committee decision or
some executive work behind the scenes that changed a
or
lot
maybe
of
it
things.
just was different from script to screen. That change is different. The writer's intent versus how the acting and the edit turned into a different format entirely. Sometimes it's just different, and sometimes it's perfect. That magic happened. That was a perfect shot. The moon came in just at the right time, like whatever. But it's hard to say. It just didn't go over well and didn't get greenlit. That's my opinion on it, is just the fact of what happened. As a fan, as a viewer, I watched it. We watched it at home. There's parts that I like. There's some things that Kamir, I liked seeing some of the Legends stuff brought in with the armor and different things. But in general, again, does it fall in line with all of the rest of the things? Because I'm Clone Wars, I'm Rebels, I'm Expanded Universe, I'm games. And most of that stuff connects the right way. There's just these 2 or 3 outliers that don't line up, and it's recently, and it's under the new management that it used to all be in one guy's head. So it's different, man. It's okay that it is different, but if you want it to be successful, it needs to land well with your audience. And so that's what I would try to do, is not make something for my audience. I would try to be the audience that I'm making a movie for, and make a good Star Wars movie. Well, and then I would think that would land well as an audience, because I am an audience member.
I think that's what Filoni and Favreau have their philosophy based on. And I think when they make something, I think that's where they set out for.
It seems like it. Like Favreau definitely has the mechanics of filmmaking down. I like Filoni's animated storytelling and arcs and the writing and how that's done. Mm-hmm. And I would love to see the opportunity of them to maybe operate together without any other. I don't know what the mechanism is, so it's hard to say what would fix the situation that has happened where it seems like Star Wars is off target.
Yeah.
With being Star Wars. I think my wife said that it was a cool space movie thing, space series. But it wasn't, aside from having, lightsabers, but
it wasn't.
Rebel Moon had
Rebel
laser
Moon was
swords
the same way.
Yeah. And that, I even watched the 3-hour versions of each of those. And
if you just put Acolyte and Rebel Moon separate and away from Star Wars, they would be just cool space
maybe
series.
Acolyte and Rebel Moon, like you say, they seem like they're part of a separate universe than the rest of Star Wars.
Right.
It really does.
Yeah.
And that's where you really gotta be a fan. It's okay to have somebody that's not a fan as a check and balance. And I appreciate that there was somebody, I've never seen a Star Wars. Okay. good. I make sure that somebody makes some fire in space mistake, but nobody caught that, and it's not the biggest sin.
No.
But, at that level, the audience expects a little bit more, especially at the budget levels, which are crazy. But it's a whole new thing that's going on. And it's weird if you do rely on AI to some of our earlier things, that the budget's so high, and where's the budget going to? And why are so many of my friends in the industry out of work? And what's happening to the people here? And so there's this whole new rise of the independents. And
Well, how many people are actually working on these series? That's what I want to know. I mean, as opposed,
when you watch the credit list, it's
huge,
quite a few.
But it's there.
These are day players, craft service.
Right.
How many hours did that guy log in color correction or something?
Yeah, I mean, you look at
they're all huge machines. Every movie is a huge machine.
An episode of The Mandalorian, you watch the credits, it looks like a film.
Yeah, look at any of the BTS. Just
CBS
look in the
pharmacy
room.
receipt.
Look in the room on the volume. Look in the background. If you see a picture of a BTS shot behind the scenes,
Yeah.
how many people are just standing in that room to make sure the room works?
Yeah.
Everything's keyed, and just the functionality of the volume. And then you've got how many people on camera, how many people on sound, hair and makeup, talent. So you've got an army of people. Most sets are 50 deep.
Yeah.
On a big thing, just in the room working, and then you've got post-production.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, after, pre-production, before. So and then there's people that were involved for months before and after, that are in the offices making sure that legal got all worked. Like, there's so many parts and pieces to it. But at the same time, you can get out there in the backyard with an iPhone, or and make your own movie. Put it online. It catches fire. Guillermo del Toro sees it and wants to turn it into something. Like, that's the dream.
Yeah.
And that is part of how I got my movies made, is somebody just saw what we were trying to do, and with a little bit more money, you see what we're able to do on $250,000 on Loire. Like, we've got some kind of legendary movie characters, in our opinion. We tried to really throw down and make a thing like we always loved to see. And so there's a lot of passion in that little backyard movie in Ashland City, and everybody put their heart and soul into it. So if it gets picked up, my first call should be to those first people that helped me make the first one.
Yeah.
If they're not interested, cool. Can you come in for a cameo? Maybe Alita doesn't want to glue things to her head anymore and be the bad guy. She's doing great with her comedy career,
Cool.
But that's one I would love to go back and redo with a bigger, better budget, especially because I saw Swamp Thing, the series, after we made our movie, and I was like, WB, what? Why does this not get a season 2, man? That Swamp Thing's also one of my favorite, but what a well done series.
Yeah,
man.
I watched that.
Man, that season was fantastic.
It was pretty cool.
And very spot on for our type of feel, that on location, turtle soup, like all that. It was very enjoyable. So just to be a part of it's fun.
Well, we do have some questions for you.
Yes, sir.
What we're going to do is, since you're our first guest, we're going to wrap up with 3 questions. So, first question I have for you is, what's the scariest film you've ever seen?
I think part of why I like it so much is that I saw it when I was young. I was dad again doing the right thing. Cool, we'll go see it. It's a space alien comes to Earth movie. Let's go see The Thing. There were parts of that movie, that and Alien, the first Alien.
Okay.
Being a drama. Those were pretty much about the same time. I probably saw Alien first. It's hard to say because I was so young when I saw them, but both of them are top tier, and both have that same claustrophobic feel.
Yeah.
Whether you're stuck in space with the thing as in a captive environment, an alien, or whether you're in the cold, bleak, in that snow environment with the thing. But the thing jumps to my mind first. I rewatch it probably more than the first Alien. The sequel for Aliens gets more rewatchability just because it's cinematic value, maybe.
Yeah.
But scary, you go to Alien. But for me, The Thing is my answer.
Okay.
Final answer.
The Thing. Okay. And Ryan?
Bosley, what is your favorite sci-fi film?
Let me make sure that it's not Aliens.
Yeah, not.
It can be Aliens. That's fine.
This could be Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
do you have a third? Like,
yeah, no, I think it would be Aliens just because of how many times I do watch it. But if not, it would be Predator.
Okay.
Predator?
We
Okay.
talked a little bit before we jumped on here, but it's such a rewatchable. Both films are so rewatchable and so iconic. Kevin Peter Hall is where I got my affinity for the Giants, and Beast of the Water is our love letter to Predator. So let's give Predator the top spot.
Predator's the top spot. Okay.
Yeah, I love me some James Cameron, but Predator stands out as this kind of unique little thing that happened on its own. You know,
Okay.
Terminator 2, those are, epic. I've watched hundreds and hundreds of times. All of these I've watched, if not 1,000 times each, which is crazy.
Those are all in my sci-fi wheelhouse too. So those are
Yeah, The Thing and Predator, that's where we are in
Thing
our
and Predator.
1 and 2.
And if you could mash up two horror creatures into creating one
Monstrosity.
which
Yeah.
ones would you do?
That's an interesting one. Because design-wise, I immediately want to pick the Queen. All hail the Queen. The Queen alien is just
The Queen
one of
alien,
the most
yeah.
brilliant designs. The alien itself is it's the perfect organism. But
Yeah. Ultimate life form.
if I were going to combine that with something, to be horrific, it would be hard not to combine it with the Thing to be able to make it
Just
even more dangerous
Just-
with
I
what the
thought you were
Thing
going to say
does.
like supernatural something.
because the Thing just takes
the
on.
other part. Initially, I thought Venom would be cool, but that's not necessarily horror. It could be if you did
It
it,
could
right.
be, yeah.
If you did it
Well,
right, it could be.
is a symbiote.
discern
Oh my God! If you did Venom the right way,
Yeah.
but something about being able to expand on that same design. That was what I went for in my mind. Was like, ooh, if I could have more Queen Alien, a way to get there would be through a Thing.
Through the Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it added more sharp, the same kind of
it- yeah.
insect-like Starship Trooper type of design.
Yeah. The giant spiked legs coming
Yeah,
out
if you
from
just
it.
made her, but I've also seen versions of that where it's combined with Predator and different things in concept
Yeah.
art, where you
And
see
so
the,
you have
the
mother
big T-Rex
gets spit
version.
acid
Yeah.
and create
Yeah.
babies. It's little baby things.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I'd go.
You could get the what was it? The Cloverfield monster combined with the Queen alien.
Yeah, because I consider it horror, I would go with the Queen Alien Venomized.
Queen alien venomized.
Oh man.
Yeah, especially if you're following current comics. There's Alien versus Avengers.
The facehugger got on
Miles.
Was it
Miles Morales, yeah, the new symbiote, the white suit with the
Yeah.
facehugger emblem. Yeah,
The symbiote took over.
tried to grab Miles, but in this particular multiverse that they're in, where this all happens, Miles is, spoiler alert if you're interested, go check this shit out. He's got the Venom symbiote, and oops, alien facehugger tried to get him, and Venom was like, "Hey, what's up? We'll take some of that." And so now he's basically the perfect weapon.
Wow.
It's like
against it.
The facehugger got fit on to his emblem.
Yeah,
pretty
and
much.
it's such a great design because
And just like
the Spidey
Yeah.
suit already has the legs, and now it's got the
tail.
the tail for the
tail,
face hugger.
yeah.
Just it's
Oh,
it's a
I've
great.
got- I've
and it's
gotta look at
it's a
that.
white suit with the black emblem, and it just looks really unique and cool for that design.
Oh, whoever came up with that, they're a genius.
Yeah, and the story is very, very well written. The first comic, you're like,
I'm gonna
the way they
check
close
that
it, you're
out.
like, oh man, because it's with the Davids.
Yeah.
So it's coming out of like Prometheus.
Yeah.
and that that
The black
that era of
goo.
Ridley Scott. Yeah,
Yeah.
the black goo era, which
Now-
I appreciate. Everything aliens, I'm all about.
Now he had years ago. He had a. Do you still have the suit? Do you still have the black Spidey suit?
My daughter has it now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now he had a really awesome black Spider-Man suit.
Yeah, Todd McFarlane commented on that. That's one of my most treasured like social media interactions is
Nice.
Todd, the Todd father, the artist back in the 1990s that started the self-titled series because his art was kind of revolutionary, even to this day. He's the creator of Spawn. If anybody out there in the world doesn't know, he just saw a picture of me out at the movie theater that we used to work at in my Spidey costume on top of my car. Just a friend of mine took a picture, just me in costume before cosplay got its name.
It was the pose. You
Stop
had a perfect
perpetrating Wizard
pose
World.
for it.
You didn't come up with that.
Huh?
Just that, cosplay was happening before anybody tries to claim the title that they came up with it. So, it's just he commented on it. Oh, that's awesome. It looks, and it was just trying to get it right.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of story arcs, the Kraven the Hunter story arc that I'd love to see. That I'm a Spidey fan. I was always climbing around on shit. So. Yeah, and Aliens was a big part of our history, man. That pulse rifle over here, that has been in and out of our hands for 30 years.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, man. So
and we did Colonial Marine costuming, playing paintball in Colonial Marine armor, and
yeah, man, we go way back on dressing up for things that we like to act like we're in that universe. You know, whether it was Star Wars paintball or Aliens, and you guys had like the actual armor. You guys made your own. You were doing Sintra and different stuff where you were making your Colonial Marine armor. I always thought that was badass.
My first foray into that was really stupid. I used it wasn't PVC. It was I don't remember, ABS, and I was using very hot heat guns, and it was Ripley very bad. So it looked terrible. So having to
time and heat.
Yeah,
you got to work those together the right way. Humidity.
Yeah, I had a buck for it, and I finally found the formula for it, so it worked out fine. But I've been looking. This is terrible. Been looking at forums on building some more Colonial Marine armor. Now that I have pulse rifles sitting around, I'm like, maybe I'll.
Well, there's more stuff coming up. Romulus. If you guys didn't check that out, that was great.
Yes.
There's 2 Predator movies slated for this year, or movie. Maybe an anime, I'm not sure exactly. They're still keeping that secret. And then the Alien series.
Yeah, it's coming to Earth.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Well, Rick, we greatly appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for coming out, having me out. I really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. It's always a treat to get to talk about monsters and movies and all that. So
it's been a treasure. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.